What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 686 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you from Underground Studios. We got a lot to dive into. Eagles and Jags preview. The Flyers pull off a historic win in Boston, and we got a lot to talk about with that because, good grief, did that feel good. We've got two more of our Philadelphia Wings Media Day interviews coming at you. The Sixers, they just might stink until Joel Embiid and Paul George get back, and then there's Juan Soto rumors swirling around, and another South Jersey standout signs with the fight in Phils as we record this. Happy Halloween, everybody. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're probably wondering, that's a face I haven't seen in quite some time. That's right. Joining me on this episode, and for many, many episodes moving forward, typically on our Wednesday shows, the one and only Harry the K Krementz is back.
Yes, sir. We are so back. Had to lock in to finish up my college degree, but that's now done. We are back, and I cannot wait to get started talking about some Philly sports again.
It has been about 2.5 years since you have all seen Harrison's bright, shining face on an underground pod, and we got to talking because we both celebrated our birthdays yesterday, and Harrison was like, hey, I'm ready to lock back in. I'm ready to rock and roll. I was like, brother, you have an open mic on our network whenever you want. And so from one of our inaugural intern class is now bumped back up to 2. Harrison is here. Christian, obviously still part of the network, doing streamer season with myself, and Harrison's back, and we're ready to rock and roll. Wednesdays with Harry the K are going to be a doozy.
Yes. Oh, it's going to be fun, especially because we got a nice little Flyers win yesterday on our birthday.
We got a great Flyers win against a team we hate. Me personally, a city I hate for a multitude of reasons, and it was a historic win nonetheless.
Yeah.
We've got a big Eagles game on deck. Dougie P coming back to town. Could be his last game as the head coach of the Jaguars. Who knows? But we'll get into all of that. But before we do, make sure you guys are following us on the socials across the board: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, all of it. We're on all of it at Underground PHI. Make sure you're subscribed to the pod on Apple, Spotify. Leave a 5-star review. Goes a long way for helping the show continue to grow. Helps people find Underground Sports Philadelphia when they're on their podcast app of choice. Helps them find our entire network of podcasts. So subscribe. Leave a 5-star review. And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, which when Harrison was still doing pods with us back when he was first with us, I don't even know if we were on YouTube yet. We're on YouTube. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're very close. We're 135 away. And I know Harrison hasn't been on Twitter in a while, but we are counting down the Kanto Pokédex style. I know you'll love this. As soon as we got to 151 subscribers away from 1,000, I've started counting down in reverse order and tweeting just the photo and the number of the Pokemon we were away from hitting 1,000. We're at 865 subscribers. Let's get to 1,000 before the end of the year. That is our goal. Let's make that happen. Leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, and, of course, ring that bell icon so you know when new videos, live streams, clips, and shorts all go live. And guess what, Harrison? Everyone can leave us a voicemail as well. We have a voicemail line. Speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's linked in the description. Leave us a voicemail. It's open 24/7. Rant and rave about the Flyers winning, about the Sixers stinking, about the Eagles, the Phillies, the Wings, the Union, the Water Dogs, whatever it may be, Philly pop culture. We want to hear from you. Speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. Leave us a voicemail. It's linked in the description. And this show, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, is presented by the City of Vineland, and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. Harrison, welcome back, man. Welcome back. Tell the people where you've been, what you've been doing, how you living. Get the people caught up with what you got going on in your life.
So it's just been basically finishing up my college career, which is finally out of the way. I'm a college graduate now, got my bachelor's degree, and that feels great. Shout out Indiana University, go Hoosiers. One of the best football teams in the country right now, which feels so good.
You're about to have a new incoming freshman there that's hot in the Philly sports streets too. I don't know if you've seen it. Our guy, Gio the podcaster, Giovanni Hamilton.
Yeah.
I believe he's going to Indiana.
Hey, he's picked a great town. Bloomington is a great place to be, especially right now. I got a cat. She's chilling on my little chair right now, passed out asleep, which is perfect for recording. Because if she's awake, she is being a menace. And I'm pouring up drinks every single weekend upstairs, which hottest college bar in Bloomington.
Let's go.
We're having ourselves a fun time out here.
And now it's Wednesdays with Harry the K on Underground Sports Philadelphia.
Even better.
We've got a hot Eagles team on deck for us, and they've got a nice little home game that I'm sure the NFL is regretting flexing this game out of Sunday Night Football, because now it's going to be Joe Flacco versus Sam Darnold on Sunday Night Football instead of Jalen Hurts, a top 5 MVP pick right now, according to multiple sports books, hot in the streets, going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are they're not winning, but it feels like they're kind of finding their stride a little bit. But the Eagles preview against the Jaguars brought to you in part by our friends over at FOCO. Guys, you see me wearing the Phillies overalls. I got my Phillies short talls now, and guess what? They've got stuff for the warmer months. They got the Eagles velour tracksuits. You can look like Big Dom every single Sunday game day. Harrison, you would look absolutely dapper in those, serving up drinks behind the bar in the velour tracksuit. They've got these badass neon lights that we're getting down here for the studio with the Eagles logo, Phillies logo. They got all your favorite teams. It is the best way to upgrade your fandom. FOCO is officially licensed fan merchandise from every major sports league, from the NFL, the NBA, NHL, MLB, Premier League soccer, NCAA basketball and football, WWE, pop culture, you name it, they've got it. Click our link in the description. Upgrade your fandom with our friends at FOCO today. When you get your stuff, tag FOCO. And I got to say, they are known for their pristine bobbleheads as well. Some of the best in the game. FOCO.com. Click our link in the description and upgrade your fandom with our friends over at FOCO. 4:05 p.m. Eastern time. It's Eagles Jags at the link. It's LaShawn McCoy Hall of Fame Day. Kind of bummed they took that out of the Sunday night primetime spotlight as well, but I am excited for this game. There's a lot of pomp and circumstance around it with Shady, Doug Peterson coming back to town. And, I mean, don't look now, but the Eagles are looking pretty damn good, finding their stride, 3 wins in a row coming off the bye. And they're also 3-0 in the bald Nick Sirianni era, which we are coining it here on this show. I don't know how anyone online hasn't done this yet. Until further notice, Nick Sirianni is the bald eagle.
Trademark that.
He is the bald eagle.
That's
us. The Eagles are flying high like bald eagles right now. 3 wins in a row. We mentioned on Monday's show, 37-17 dominant win over the Bengals in Cincinnati. First win in Cincinnati in team history, which is insane to think about.
And what, first win against Cincinnati since 2001?
Absurd. And now you have the Jaguars, who are a beatable team. They just traded their franchise left tackle to the Minnesota Vikings. So that opens up things for your defense to be that much more productive against them. They don't have Christian Kirk. He's out for the season. So they're down a weapon there. And I don't want people to feel like the Eagles are going to fall into a trap in this game, because the Eagles on paper and overall, just talent-wise, are the better team. They have the better quarterback, better offensive weapons, a far superior offensive line, and this is talking about an O-line that doesn't even have Jordan Mailata right now, and they're finding their identity. Kay Adams said it herself. The Eagles have their identity now, and they just need to run with it, and that's running the football.
Yes.
Establish your offensive identity every single game with Saquon Barkley. There's no need for him to be off the field inside between the 20s. Saquon Barkley should be your bell cow.
Absolutely.
I know they like using Kenny Gainwell in goal line situations because he can pass block, sure, but there's no reason for Saquon to be off the field in between the 20s for sure. He's been absolutely as advertised, and I love drinking Giants fans' tears every single week. It is the best. And then you just let Jalen Hurts take care of the football like he's been doing for the past 4 games and find those big plays when they hit. Jalen Hurts has been confident in the pocket. He's been stepping up in the pocket, which everyone's like, he can't pass under pressure. He can't pass when the pocket breaks down. He's one of the top 5 passers completion percentage wise and passer rating wise in the pocket this year. He's been running like 2022 Jalen Hurts. He's been physical running the ball, which has been a great sign to see. And let's just remember, oh yeah, he doesn't have a knee brace around his leg anymore. He's healthy, which is good. This team is fun. I don't understand the constant nitpicking about this team when they're playing good football. They're a Saquon Barkley drop pass away from being 6-1, which would be one of the best records in the NFL, not even just the NFC. They still have one of the best records in the NFC. And if it wasn't for a fluky Hail Mary, they'd be in first place in the division after last week. I feel very good about where this team is right now. They're clicking on all cylinders, and that's not even talking about how unbelievable the defense has been since the bye week.
Unreal. I mean, they've come out and they started flying around. You got a nasty combo in the backfield with Reed Blankenship and Cooper DeJean.
The secondary, D-A-I-R-Y.
Yeah. Quinion Mitchell, oh my God. That kid is going to be our standout for years to come. I love watching him fly around. He locks down your favorite wide receiver.
Yes.
And that is all you need to know. The line has been nasty. Our linebackers are playing off the charts. They just look like a unit out there, and it feels good to watch.
And that's the best part about it, too. It's the young guys that are contributing. It's the Quinion Mitchells. It's the Reed Blankenships. It's Cooper DeJean. Kelly Ringo, when he gets in, he's been great. Jalen Carter has been phenomenal. Jordan Davis has been stepping up over the past couple of weeks. Bryce Huff seems to be kind of finding his way. And, guys, Nakobe Dean is not cooked. He is unbelievable. And we're not talking about it nearly enough as we should. Howie Roseman found one of the most unbelievable diamonds in the rough this offseason with Zach Bond.
Oh my God. That week 1 performance, I was watching that and I was like, who the hell is this guy? He's just flying around, hard hitting. He knows where to be.
He knows how to tackle.
He's a piece we've been missing for so long. A player who can hit hard. Sorry, getting over something here. But he can hit hard and knows how to finish his tackle. For the longest time, the number one thing I've been yelling at my TV screen about this Eagles defense is finish your tackles. It shouldn't be that hard. He knows what he's doing, and he's an anchor piece that they've needed. Man.
I love it. And shout out to my guy, Roy Burton. A couple days ago, he tweeted this, and I said, that's a nickname. This is what I'm going to start calling Quinion Mitchell. He's the sheriff.
Oh, yeah.
Sheriff Mitchell is at it again because his stats against the Cincinnati Bengals were unbelievable. 2 targets, 1 catch allowed for 13 yards, a 70.8 passer rating, team low by starters. He was lined up against Jamar Chase, but Quinion Mitchell is the sheriff.
He is. And as I said earlier, he's locking down your favorite wide receiver. Jamar Chase did not get any daylight against that Eagles defense.
You don't wear number 20. I know number 20 is synonymous with Brian Dawkins on this team. It'll never be worn again. But the next best thing on this Eagles defense is getting the number 27. You don't wear 27 for nothing.
No.
You get given that number if you know you're going to emulate the play. And I think he's one of the most underrated players in Eagles history. Quentin Michael was
Oh,
unbelievable,
yeah.
playing side by side with Brian Dawkins as soon as Michael Lewis left. And then Malcolm Jenkins, obviously a
The dog.
legend in the franchise. And now Quinyon Mitchell wearing number 27. Like 27 is the number of the dog
It
on
is.
this defense. And he has been beyond as advertised this year and has been a huge reason why this Eagles football team is where they're at right now. Because without him, who knows where we're at?
We're not 5-2, I'll tell you that.
Nope.
We are not doing as well as we're doing. And, when the draft happened earlier this year, all of the people out here in Indiana were so confused why I was celebrating so heavily about this random corner out of Toledo. I was like, watch him. Just watch. He's going to turn into something huge. My prediction was spot on.
He's
I
unreal.
have not been more happy to be right.
The secondary's been playing fantastic. And when you are getting physical linebacker play from Nakobe Dean, from Zach Bond, who graded as two of the best linebackers, metrics wise this past week. And then your D line is starting to figure it out. And Jalen Carter's not getting double teamed every single week because the other guys are breaking through. Bryce Huff is kind of finding his way finally, which is nice to see. And Josh Sweat is kind of figuring some things out too. I still hate that he changed his number to 19, and I think that is part of his struggles.
Bad jersey metrics.
Jersey analytics there are through the toilet. But I think this Eagles team has enough talent alone to beat the Jaguars. Now,
Absolutely.
The big thing is you just don't want to get caught up in the pomp and circumstance of, Shady McCoy's Hall of Fame day, the Kelly Green nonsense that always comes up. And here's my yearly take. I said this when the Kelly Greens rolled out last year. They're nice to look at. They're a cool fashion piece. Throwback stuff is always fun, but it's the uniform of losers. The Eagles never won a goddamn thing in the Kelly Green jerseys. The way that people grovel over those things, and it's like, oh, change them back to the permanent. No, shut the fuck up. It's nice to wear a couple times a year. They look okay, and since they brought the Eagles are 2-0 in this era of Kelly Green jerseys, that's fine. But I do contribute last year's downfall to the Kelly Greens being brought back into the fold, and until proven otherwise, I'm going to stand on business on that. But it is a Kelly Green game, so don't get caught
Kelly
up.
Green game to have.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's not in prime time anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been cool to see him under the lights, and I guarantee, I said this when it happened, don't be surprised when week 17 against the Cowboys at home on December 29th, which is also another slated Kelly Green game, is scheduled for 4:25. Don't be surprised when that gets flexed to Sunday Night Football because
it's absolutely going to be Sunday.
It's Eagles-Cowboys. Right now, that slated game is Browns-Dolphins.
Oh, that's a no-brainer switch up.
That game could have playoff implications for the Eagles for sure. The Cowboys only have a 12% chance to make the playoffs right now. LOL. How you doing, Jerry? But don't be surprised when that gets
on your birthday.
Don't get surprised when that gets flexed because no matter how good or bad either team is, Eagles-Cowboys is always one of the highest top 100 rated television programs every single year, year over year. Don't be shocked when that game gets flexed into prime time, right? And it's right after Christmas. It gives the national media the opportunity to dig into the Snowballs at Santa Claus storyline one more time and piss us all off. And we go from there. But I've said it for weeks, Harrison, and tell me if you felt this way too when you've looked at the schedule. I said after that Bucs game, you have the bye week. But the grouping of games from the Browns game until Sunday, November 10th against the Cowboys, that grouping of 5 games, which was Browns, Giants, Bengals, this Jaguars game upcoming, and then the Cowboys, that was going to tell us everything we needed to know about this Eagles team. Not saying that they were going to be good, not saying they were going to be bad, not saying like this is what they are. It was just going to tell us everything we needed to know, and I think so far, so fucking good.
We have absolutely passed the test. I mean, we've gone down a dark stretch at the beginning of the season, losing so many key players to injury. There was that wacky ending to the Atlanta game. But we have learned everything we need to know, as you said, about this team. They went in against the Browns a little banged up, but they figured it out at the end. They pulled their heads together and got the W. The Giants game, that was the easiest W of the entire year because you knew Saquon was going to go in there and just run his ass off. And that is exactly what he did. Needed him to do that. And that I think that game is our signature win of the season because I feel like it's going to be the turning point of where we are. We're going to go forward from that win and just start kicking teams' heads in, getting win after win after win. We just got to keep piling them up. I'm interested to see when we play the Commanders how that's going to turn out. Jaden Daniels, hell of a rookie QB.
It's pretty good.
He's pretty good. But I do think we have all the tools in our arsenal to beat them. Jacksonville this week, this is not the same kind of trap that maybe Tampa Bay was. Tampa Bay is an actual good team, and I can understand how that would have been a trap, especially with all the injuries we had going into it.
And we never play well against a Todd Bowles coach team.
No.
And Jalen Hurts historically has never been good against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in his career.
Absolutely not. That game, I wasn't confident going into that one anyway. But this is a Doug Peterson-led team who most of this team should know pretty well. We are healthy against them. And even though they're putting 2 and 2 together right now, they are still a long way from good. So I'm not worried this week against the Jaguars. And next week against the Cowboys, I'm ready for a stomping. I'm ready for our first win in Dallas in years.
And I think with this Jaguars game too, it was very strange to me that going into the week, you trade your franchise left tackle ahead of a game. Granted, I know the Jaguars are not that good right now. I think they're 2-6 on the season, but like trading your left tackle when Trevor Lawrence is starting to kind of find his groove a little bit and you need protection for him. He's historically not been great when his offensive line is injured. To trade Cam Robinson at this
like a boneheaded
part of
move.
the season feels very dumb, feels very like short-sighted on the Jaguars' part. And the Jaguars are now going into a game fresh off a 2-game stretch in London without their franchise left tackle. And we all know what it's like to not have your left tackle in whenever we've had Jason Peters out, whenever Mailata's been out. Granted, right now we've had a great fill-in in Fred Johnson, but
Fred's been playing really well.
It's not the same when you don't have the guy there. And I think any team will tell you when you don't have your left tackle, it changes a lot. And I think this is a game, if we're ever going to see a game where the Eagles defense continues to build good credibility with the fan base and just good momentum for themselves, you have to get after Trevor Lawrence defensively.
Absolutely.
The D-line has to create havoc in the trenches, and it all starts on that left side because that left side is so much weaker now. Cam Robinson is an unbelievable left tackle, and when you open up that opportunity for your defense to get through, whether it's Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, Bryce Huff, the middle of the defensive line with Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, Moro Ojomo, and the linebackers in Nakobe Dean, Zach Bond, you need to capitalize on the lessened protection there for Trevor Lawrence. He's got cement feet. He's not going to run. It's not like, not saying Daniel Jones is a good quarterback, but Daniel Jones can move around a little bit. And Trevor Lawrence cannot. He's not going to run. He's not going to be able to avoid pressure the way some of these quicker quarterbacks can that you faced this season, like Baker Mayfield, like Daniel Jones, and the like. So you need to create pressure and kind of set that tone from the jump. Your first defensive drive, the Eagles defense needs to be just like Bruce in Finding Nemo when he smells blood and just be all over Trevor Lawrence.
If you don't get a sack on that first drive of the game, you need to pick it up. That is a tone setter right there. You need to get to Trevor. As you were talking about earlier, he's not mobile. He is a Peyton Manning in an era of Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes's. this is not a quarterback that will be difficult to take down. Just get to his ass and put him in the dirt before he can get anything going.
And he's down Christian Kirk. He's out for the
Yep.
season. So that's another receiving weapon who Trevor Lawrence loves throwing the ball to. That's out. If you shut down their run game, I think that needs to be the plan defensively for Vic Fangio
Absolutely.
in this one. You need to key in on Travis Etienne and their running backs. I'm blanking on their other running. Tank, yes. You need to hone in on just shutting down their run game and making it so they can't run the ball and force Trevor Lawrence to beat you, to which I'm confident in the Quinyon Mitchells, in Cooper DeJean, in Reed Blankenship, in CJ Gardner-Johnson, and to a degree Darius Slay.
Absolutely.
To make a play and get you turnovers, set your offense up with better field position. The defense is going to be a massive key to victory in this game. And then the offense, all they have to do is do what they've been doing over the past 3 weeks. Take care of the football, establish the run, and then let Jalen Hurts get comfortable that when the run is established, you fire it 55 yards down the field to A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith or Grant Calcaterra, because he's been playing fantastic in Dallas Goedert's absence. Or if there was ever a game to get him involved, because everyone just needs to find something to nitpick about with this team, get Jahan Dotson the ball in this game.
Oh, he needs to get something here. He needs a touchdown or some big catch.
It would be beautiful. If Jahan Dotson scores a touchdown in this game, nobody will have a single thing to complain about if the Eagles win.
Yeah. Oh, no. The center play could have been a little bit better. It's not the same without Jason Kelce. Shut up, Bozo.
I saw a stat for Jahan Dotson. He ranks 120th out of 120 in yards ran per route. What the fuck are we talking about? What fugazi ass stat are we talking about here?
I didn't even realize that was a stat.
I don't think it is. I think it's made up. I think it's phony.
Oh my God.
It's to fill an agenda.
Yeah.
And it's just like, there's no need to that. Like, everyone's so up in arms because DeAndre Hopkins and Deontay Johnson and all these other receivers are getting traded for much less than what the Eagles gave up for Jahan Dotson. But let's not forget, we also got a 5th round pick back.
Yeah.
Jahan Dotson is
wide receivers in the league.
And Jahan Dotson is significantly younger than all these receivers that are getting traded. DeAndre Hopkins is a corpse of himself. Deontay Johnson is going from the Carolina Panthers to the Baltimore Ravens, a franchise that is historically known to not utilize wide receivers in their offense.
Yep.
Can we please stop? Like, the Eagles are in such a good place right now that people need to find a way to complain about the wide receiver 3 on this roster.
Yeah, because you're not going to complain about wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2.
Nope.
They are generational.
Now, would I like to see the Eagles trade for a wide receiver before the trade deadline? Sure. But somebody I tweeted this probably 3 weeks ago, somebody to the degree of like an Adam Thielen or that nature. You know, it's not like you need to go and trade for Devontae Adams or DeAndre Hopkins or even Calvin Ridley. You need to just get somebody who's a complementary piece that can fill a role, and you'll be fine. And let's also not forget that, like, week 1, Britton Covey was the wide receiver 3 on this team. It was doing really well until he got hurt.
Yeah. Britt Covey is a very solid piece when he's healthy. And if we had gone out and traded for DeAndre Hopkins, I think that would have been
it would have been Julio Jones 2.0. And
Julio
wasn't
Julio
bad
Jones
here,
2.0. It might have been Howie's Old Yeller moment.
Yeah, like,
take him outside.
I'd rather have Jahan Dotson and Short. Was it an overpay? Yes. But I'd rather have a young wide receiver that you can kind of like develop, who you got here late in training camp. So he's still kind of like getting up to speed.
Absolutely.
And we all know Jalen's comfortable throwing to guys he knows. Yeah. And we've seen him take a little bit to get acclimated to Kellen Moore's system. This is a brand new offensive coordinator. The Eagles are 7 games into a new offensive coordinator. Let's take a deep breath.
5 of them.
1-5, almost 1-6. Let's take a deep breath, relax. And I love how after the Browns game, because Nick Sirianni was yapping with some fans, everyone wanted him fired. Done a hell of a fucking job since the bye week.
He's turned it around. I got to give it to him.
And I'll give him credit for that Saints game too. Sure, there was a blunder early on, but they found a way.
And that was a team beat to hell. We were down AJ from the start. We lost Devontae. We lost Slay. We lost Lane. And also, dirty ass hits on those hits right
Yep.
there. So the fact that we willed it together and we did the thing that we should have been doing all season long. We let Saquon run, and he was the game changer, and he's been the game changer every single week since, for the most part. Especially that Giants. I cannot say enough good things about that Giants game. That was
100%. So I'm excited for this game. I don't know what the overall outcome would be, but that's my formula to win is let the defense dominate.
Yep.
That is where you win this game is defensively, and then you just let the offense kind of do what they've been doing. Don't overcomplicate things. Run the ball, and then let Jalen Hurts take his shots down the field when they present themselves. That's all you have to do to win this game. The Jaguars are a beatable team. You improved to 6-2, going into a division rival game on the road against the Cowboys. Feel good about yourself at 6-2.
Let's keep this good mojo flowing. Like going back to last year, the thing that killed our playoff hopes was a bad defense. So as you said, we got to keep that defense flying. Let them fly around, get the good bald eagle energy going, and continue on this win streak.
100%. The bald eagle is ours, everybody.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Let's go a little bit around the NFL as well this week, Harrison, because we have some fun, crispy games on deck across the league, and it is brought to you by our friends over at Paramount Plus. The Eagles will be on Paramount Plus this week. You can watch them and stream them on CBS Live on Paramount Plus. We are proud to be a Paramount Plus pod, and you can watch so much on Paramount Plus. I say this all the time, and I said this before Paramount Plus got on board with us. Bang for your buck, from live sports to the back catalog of MTV, VH1, Nickelodeon, all the old Spike TV shows, Ink Master, Survivor, the movies that are on there. Bang for your buck. Paramount Plus is the best streaming platform on the market, and you can stream the NFL all season long on Paramount Plus. And I know, Harrison, you're a big Premier League guy. You can also stream the Carabao Cup and the Champions League on Paramount Plus, which is amazing. Plus, they've got all new shows. The new season of Ink Master, Lioness, The Daily Show is also on Paramount Plus. Stream this week's games of the NFL. Check your local listings for your broadcast of the NFL on Paramount Plus. Click our link in the description. Do it for free or sign up for Paramount Plus by using our link in the description. And shout out to Paramount Plus for being a partner of the pod. These are the games this week. We got some okay ones, but also some pretty stinky ones. It starts Halloween night, Texans Jets on Thursday Night Football, and then we have what my dad and I have deemed the shit bowl. It's the Saints and the Panthers at 1:00, followed by the Commanders at the Giants, the Dolphins at the Bills, the Chargers at the Browns, the Patriots at the Titans, which we have to do a little science there because the Titans last week lost to the Lions. The Lions hangover, shout out to Chris Long, credit to Chris Long, is a thing. Yeah. Teams who lost to the Lions the week before lose their following game. Now, I know this is a weird spot because the Patriots, not that great. Drake May is probably out, but Titans, count your blessings. You might be done. Cowboys and Falcons, I really hope Kirk Coupons goes Kirko chains on them and
let Bijan do his thing.
Holds down in his trap. Frisky game here. Raiders at Bengals. Ooh. Who knows what that could be? The friskiest game of them all. Broncos Ravens in Baltimore.
Ooh, yeah, that's gonna be nice and
that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Bears Cardinals kicks off the 4:05 slate. So you get Caleb Williams and Kyler Murray, a little frisky action there.
Very fun.
Eagles Jags at 4:05 as well. Rams Seahawks at 4:25. I think the Rams win that one. Lions Packers is my game of the week.
Absolutely.
In Green Bay.
You got two teams who have been playing head and shoulders above most other teams in the NFL this year. Even the Packers, who have been down their starting quarterback for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
The Lions are honestly, they've become my second favorite team in the NFL.
So
I love these guys. They're fun.
I love that David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs' nickname is Sonic and
Yeah.
Knuckles.
And they're these guys that serve at the pub, and they're diehard Lions fans, and they come in and they have a fun time every single week.
They're so
So,
good.
I can't not love them. Dan Campbell, I would run through a brick wall for that man.
Now, I will say it's interesting because I think this is the first game of the season that Jared Goff is not playing indoors.
Ooh. So we'll have to see how that affects
Something
him.
to monitor there. If I'm
Especially
not
at
mistaken.
Lambeau, which
I will
is
double check that right now and see their games they've played. So this season, the Lions have played at home against the Rams, so
Yep.
dome,
Dome,
home against the Bucks,
Dome,
at the Cardinals,
Dome,
home against the Seahawks,
Dome,
at the Cowboys,
Dome. Oh, a beautiful game against the Cowboys.
at the Vikings,
Another Dome.
and then home against the Titans. So yeah, this is the
Yeah.
first game that Jared Goff is playing outdoors this season.
See if we have any of that notorious Green Bay weather this week, too.
Gonna be interesting. And then Sunday Night Football is Colts Vikings. Joe Flacco
Yep.
back out there for the Colts, taking on Sam Darnold and the Vikings coming off their bye. And then Monday Night Football, it's Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers at Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Baker Mayfield has a chance to do one of the best things possible and beat the living hell out of these Chiefs for their first loss of the season. I am sick and tired of them getting lucky, scraping by every single week and pulling a win out of their asses.
It's crazy. Like
It's insane.
pretty sure Patrick Mahomes leads the NFL in interceptions so far
Yes.
this season, which is
He is
nuts.
not the same quarterback he was last year, but they keep
And
winning.
yet he is, because
Yeah.
their defense is so good that it bails him out of his mistakes, and then he can go back out and do Mahomes magic.
Yeah. It only takes one mistake for them to pounce on. And every single team they faced so far has had one glaring mistake. Now, the Ravens got screwed a little bit on penalties in that week 1 game. But if they hadn't been who was that the tight end in the back of the end zone? I forget his name.
Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, if Likely didn't have his foot a fraction of an inch out of bound, that's 0-1 to start the season, and they've just been getting lucky week after week after week since then.
Yeah, they beat the Bengals by 1 point.
Yep.
26-25. They held on to beat the Falcons 22-17.
Yep.
They held on to beat the Chargers 17-10.
They should have beat the hell out of the Chargers. That
They
should have been a
stomped the
stomping.
Saints 26-13, but the Saints stink. They beat the 49ers because the 49ers stink. And they held on to beat the Raiders last week 27-20.
You should have beat the Raiders by much more. You should have gotten away with walking the Niners.
Hilariously enough, this is a must-win for the Chiefs because their next 2 games are not fun. It's a frisky game against the Broncos in Kansas City, and then they're at Buffalo.
I think this is the year that Buffalo puts their foot down on the Chiefs' throat and says, all right, you have given us hell for Josh Allen's basically entire tenure in Buffalo. This is our time to shine. You're not walking out of here with a W.
So the Chiefs' remaining schedule, because obviously they're undefeated.
Yep.
Trying to go for a 3-peat. They have the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football, then the Broncos next Sunday, and then they are at the Bills on the 17th of November, at the Panthers on November 24th, home against the Raiders on November 29th. That's the Black Friday game, which is funny that it's the Raiders.
I know.
Then they're home against the Chargers Sunday Night Football, at the Browns, home against the Texans, Christmas Day at Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
And then their final game of the season, January 5th, at Denver. How many of those games do the Chiefs lose, if any?
I'm saying 4. I'm saying they lose to the Steelers. I'm saying they lose to the Bills. I think they're going to drop one to the Broncos, and I think they lose this week against the Buccaneers.
Okay. I was going to say 3, maybe 4. The only reason I say no on the Bucs is because it sucks that Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are done.
That's true.
Well, Mike Evans isn't done, but
yeah,
he's out for multiple weeks. I like your take about the Broncos. I do think they lose to the Bills. I think my potential fourth loss was going to be that Texans game. If the
Yeah.
Texans
Oh, I can
fully
see that
figure it
too.
out. Like, the Texans are good, but they haven't played a complete game this year.
Yeah. And now they're down Diggs for the season.
Yeah, and Nico Collins has been out, so they got to figure some things out.
Yep.
And then I do think that Steelers game, because it's in Pittsburgh, Christmas Day, Pittsburgh, good
The
luck.
terrible towels are going to be waving, and
Yeah.
whichever quarterback they go with, because both of their quarterbacks have been playing pretty damn solid this year.
Yes. So it's going to be an interesting slate of NFL games this week. Stream it all on Paramount Plus. But Harrison, should we skip to the fun birthday gift we got?
Absolutely.
The Philadelphia Flyers. It is brought to you by our friends at 47 Brand. Everybody watching on YouTube, I got my Flyers beautiful 47 Brand 2-time Stanley Cup champions hat on right now. 47 Brand, it is the best way to represent your favorite sports teams. They are genuinely the best hats in the game. I have been a 47 Brand fan since before they got on board as a partner. I've been wearing 47 Brand for decades. I will continue wearing 47 Brand forever. They've just dropped new collections in the past couple of days, which are absolutely beautiful. They have a vintage look to them. They have just that beautiful fit that you're looking for when you're wearing a hat, all different styles. I love the hitch style and the Roscoe hitch style, which is the rope hat version of the hitch. They're my favorites, genuinely the most comfortable hats in the game. Harrison, I know you love 47 Brand as well. And when I told you that they're partners with us, your eyes lit up. I genuinely, like, when I'm at Citizens Bank Park, they have the 47 Brand store. I check there every single time I'm there because I know there's going to be new hats, new merchandise there. And you can shop for your favorite sports teams from the MLB, NFL, NHL, NBA, NCAA, minor league baseball, NASCAR, and they just started rolling out Premier League gear as well. 47 Brand is the best. They just dropped their Recon 47 hitch. They've got World Series gear. Their dusted capsule for the NHL is absolutely gorgeous. And they also have it for the NBA, the NFL, and MLB. Click our link in the description. Get free shipping on all orders when you use our link from 47 Brand. That's free shipping, all orders, when you use our link in the description from our friends at 47 Brand. Harrison, what a historic win it was in Beantown, or should I say beat downtown, for the Philadelphia Flyers against the Boston Bruins on our birthday. The first regulation shutout since 2006 in Boston for the Philadelphia Flyers, which the last guy to do it was a name I haven't heard in quite some time, Antero Niittymaki.
Oh, my
Good
God.
grief. I was like, oh.
Well, then.
First regulation win in Boston since Sean Couturier's NHL debut back in 2011.
Oh, my God.
And the Flyers did the damn thing.
Yeah.
They did the damn thing. Joel Farabee, Tyson Forster with the goals. I don't care that Farabee's was an empty netter. It still counts the same way.
Yep.
Sam Ersson is a dog. And
he's so good.
Matvei Michkov leads the league in Michigan goal attempts.
Yeah, hey, he's going to get one of them eventually.
He's going to get one. And we are going to lose our minds, and TLN is going to lose their minds when a lacrosse goal goes in. Shout out to the boys at TLN. I mean, we were talking before we started recording too. Like, you and I are both on the same page. It's still Optimistic October as well, which we celebrate every year on this podcast. Where October rolls around, we kind of gauge the level of the Flyers. We get optimistic about them, and then we go from there. We check in on them from time to time. But obviously, it's a new era of orange and black, so we're following along with the rebuild, just like we did sicko mode time with the Phillies, like we've done with the process with the Sixers. We don't care about wins and losses for this team. Like, at the end of the day, they're going to be a lottery team again, which is completely fine and part of the plan. Get a high draft pick, but also see the core player development as the season rolls along. And you see the signs of great play from the Michkovs, from Jamie Drysdale still progressing, who is one of my favorite players on this team. Bobby Brink continuing to progress. Tyson Forster, Joel Farabee. Travis Sanheim is an absolute sicko to this day. Cam York, Owen Tippett, and you have a veteran leader on this team in Travis Konechny, who is going to be here through the rebuild if I had any say about it.
He's still young enough.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. And Sam Emerson, I think you're finding a goalie prospect in him,
Yes.
which is great. Now, obviously, the goalies behind him have a lot of work and development to figure out, but when Sam Emerson is playing, the Flyers should be on your TV.
Absolutely. It's a good young defense, a good young offensive core. This is a team that, while maybe not good record-wise, it's going to be fun. They're going to be frisky. They're fast-paced. They're exciting to watch, which is something I never thought I'd be saying about a Flyers team, at least not for another 5 years. The last time I felt this good about the Flyers was maybe 2010. I just feel this positive vibe growing. New era of orange is really the best way to put it. They ditched that old orange for the burnt orange, and everything is lining back up how it should be. It feels good as a Flyers fan, and Danny Briere, what a GM, my favorite player of all time. And he has just done a hell of a job bringing in the right people to take this team to new heights. I'm saying a 5-year window, 3 years to finish up the rebuilding process, 2 years in the playoffs, maybe not like deep run, but around second round, something like that. After that 5-year window, we're contending for Stanley Cups.
Mhm.
That's my gut feeling, at least.
And I'm just saying, Connor Bedard's already got reports out that he's fed up with the Chicago Blackhawks. So come on down, pal.
Hey,
Come
we
play
will
on the
get there.
wing for the Fly Guys. Come on.
Top 2 prospects in that 2023 draft match up together.
Come on. Come
bud.
on.
You know you
Um,
wanna.
I also love that yesterday's win bumped the Pittsburgh Penguins to the basement of the Metropolitan Division.
The best part about this Flyers being in the rebuild and being on the up and up is that we're doing it at the same time that the Penguins are trending downwards.
Yes.
It's
Thank
nature.
you, Ron Hexo.
Yeah, thanks, Hexy. He's our secret agent. He's out there doing the damn thing.
I saw somebody posted the Crips and Bloods gang meme where they're holding up their bandanas together. It was like
Yep.
Flyers fans, Penguins fans. Their disdain and hatred for Ron Hextall was right in
Yep.
the middle.
I never thought one of the greatest goalies in our franchise history would have his legacy disparaged the way it was. But hey, when you drive a franchise into the toilet, you get what you deserve.
And I also love that yesterday's win knocked the Bruins into the basement of the Atlantic Division.
Oh yeah, that helps too.
I love it.
It's the two teams in black and gold that I've hated for so long, finally getting their comeuppance for years of being just the worst.
Like, I genuinely hate the Boston Bruins. I hate the city of Boston for a multitude of reasons. Harrison, you were along for the ride for one of them. But there's been a lot more lore that we'll talk about when we finish recording afterwards. That I just hate Boston. Sorry, Pat Pitts. But I'm just happy that we beat them. It felt like one of those milestone wins in a season where you're not worried about wins and losses, but you played so well. And it was one of those things where you didn't think Erson was going to cough up the game for you. You were worried about the defense holding up against the Bruins and them holding on. And it was one of their better overall unit performances yesterday to stave off the Bruins, keep it a clean sheet for Sam Emerson, and the Flyers get a historic win. They haven't won in regulation in Boston since 2011. That's history right there. That's fun. That's fun for this team to do.
Yeah, it was chippy, and it's such a good sign going forward. This is something to build off of. Like, just get more good wins like that against teams we shouldn't beat or haven't beaten in the past, and get the confidence sky high for these young guns. These are 18, 19, 20-year-olds. They are kids. They are still getting their sea legs under them. Once they get that going, the sky is the limit, and these Flyers are going to be flying.
And I mean, you look at the Flyers' upcoming schedule. We'll go through the month of November. We have one more game in optimistic October, Halloween night at home against the Blues. And then you're home again on Saturday, 1:00 game against the Bruins. And then you're on the road on Election Day against the Hurricanes. Thursday, you're on the road at Tampa Bay. Saturday, you're in Florida against the Panthers. And then you come home to play the Sharks. and then you go up to Ottawa to take on the Senators, and then you come home for a 5-game homestand against the Sabres, the Avalanche, the Hurricanes, the Blackhawks, and the Golden Knights. And then on the 27th of November, you're at the Predators. And then 1 o'clock, like tradition, the Black Friday afternoon game against the New York Rangers.
Yep.
Then you're at St. Louis on the final day of November.
Just pick up one signature win out of that. Maybe beat the Rangers. Get one of the wins against the Hurricanes, who are a fun and feisty team. Just some signature win out of that. You don't need to have a winning record next month. You absolutely don't. But just one big win and do it in dominant fashion. Put up 5-6 goals. Don't let them score on you. Mitch gets his first NHL hat trick. Just something like that. And that will do the boys a world of good going forward.
So you have 14 games in the month of November.
Yeah.
Ideally, you go looking at the opponents, looking at the home road split. If you can go 6-6-2.
Yeah. I was even going to say like a 5-7-1.
Yeah. Something like that in that range. Like that still keeps you in the mix, keeps things fun, keeps the fans involved. And you grow from the losses. You take the overtime for what it is and see how you fare there, which, the first game of the season was great. A point is a point. And you move into December when things, start to get cold and you figure some things out there. But I think if you can go, 6-6-2, 5-7-1, something like that.
5-7-2.
5-7-2.
I'm not a math major.
Math is hard, everyone. Let it be known. If you can go something like that over the month of November, I think Flyers fans should be happy because then it also keeps you interested. It probably still keeps you in the mix in the lottery for a top 5 pick, which is where you want to be. And you just continue building there, and you're more so worried about the progress of the players and the way that they're gelling as a team more so than the end result, because the end result will get there once this team is formulated to what its end product will be.
We are in the Infinity War right now. We are not yet at endgame.
Right.
I have had 2 goals for this season going into the year. One is to really develop Mitchkov and get him to Rookie of the Year, which I think he'll do. And 2, please, for the love of God, no 10-game losing streak.
Yes.
That is it. That's all I ask for this year. Keep it fun. Get us a Rookie of the Year. And do not lose 10 in a row. Please. That's it.
100%.
That's it.
I need that to be a thing. Keep that away. But yeah, I mean, I'm feeling all right about the Flyers. Optimistic October. There's been some bumps in the road, obviously, early on, some games that you should win. I think my biggest takeaway, too, and I said it on the last episode, I want them to clean whatever they're doing in the first intermission. They need to change something up because the second period has been the bane of their existence.
Yeah. We saw it against the Canadians recently. They go into the intermission, solid little tie game, and then they just score 3 on us.
Yeah.
So
it happened against the Canadians, it happened against the Kraken, it happened against the Capitals. Even that game against
back in the third.
Even that game against the Wild, you were up 2-0, and then it was tied 3. You tied up 3-3, and then you end up pulling away in the third. But you need to figure something out after that first intermission. Something is not fully there from the preparation standpoint after the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, but the third period, I like the way we close games out, even if we don't win them half the time or more than half the time. The first period looks solid. There's just work we need to do in that locker room during that 20 minutes.
Yeah, which I think is, if that's your biggest problem right now in terms of just overall figuring out the flow of a game, I'll take that because it's a fixable thing.
Absolutely. Just have the boys sit down when we have a break in the schedule and have a players only meeting or something. Get them all together. Say, hey, we're flying out there the first period, and then we just kind of go down the toilet in the second. What's going on with that? Is there something we need to do to fix this for good? And then go from there.
100%. So Let us know how you're feeling about the Flyers in the comment section, or leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/underground sports Philadelphia. But now we are going to kick it to myself at Philadelphia Wings Media Day. We got 2 more interviews on deck for you on this episode with one of the best lacrosse players on the planet, Mitch Jones. Very happy Jonesy's back for another season with the squad, and a great insight from him and how he's approaching this season, and just the way that this team is going to look a lot different this year in the best way possible. So it's Mitch Jones, and we will also have Connor Sellars, new cornerstone defenseman for the Philadelphia Wings, who I think a lot of people are going to like. He's very stoic, very smart, a championship pedigree player. A lot of people are going to like him. So sit tight. Mitch Jones, Connor Sellars, right here on Underground Sports Philadelphia. Don't go anywhere. All right, everybody, we are here at Philadelphia Wings Media Day, and joining us now is the one and only Mitch Jones. Good to have you in person, man. It's been a while since we've had you on the show. Last time you were still in Vancouver, and it was over the phone, so it's good to have you in person and back in another season for the Philadelphia Wings, man.
Good to be here in person. Good to be back in Philly. Just made the trip in yesterday. Had about 3 hockey bags full of stuff moving across country. Made sure to pack my hoodie though.
There we go.
That was, not gonna lie, it was on the border, but it made it in.
Perfect.
So we got it.
Talk to me about the excitement, coming into this season. A lot of new faces on this team, and obviously last season didn't go as planned, but when you bring in so many new guys that are so talented to a group that is already littered with talent, how excited are you for the season?
Yeah, I think, every preseason brings that level of excitement, right? Everyone's optimistic, but I think just being in the league a long time and seeing the guys we brought in and the talent level that's in our room and the new young legs that we are bringing in, a ton of reasons to be excited about this season. For myself, just feeling great, had a great summer, and ready to keep pushing here and ready for the season.
When you see Brennan O'Neill come into this team as the #1 overall pick, and just the excitement around that, what excites you about getting to play with him and seeing what he brings to the table? Obviously a lot from the field game, but getting him involved with this team in the box game.
Yeah, a whole bunch of things, man. I think he's very mature for his age, very mature for a guy coming in as a rookie, and he's played a lot of lacrosse, a lot of high level lacrosse. Just actually met him in person for the first time today, and he's a unit. He's a guy who's gonna bring athleticism, bring skill, bring a lot to the table for us. I think me and Blaze are super excited to have him on the left side there. I like to make the jokes. I'm like, oh, he'll be the third most athletic guy. Well, the most athletic left side in the league. But I think obviously he's going to bring a lot of things for us, and looking forward to working with him.
When you have, 7 guys coming in from PCLC and they were a playoff team 2 years in a row, to bring in that much playoff experience littered across the roster now, how much does that factor into just knowing what the expectation is going to be this year?
Yeah, it's nice to bring in guys, who have been there, done that, played in playoff games, played in this league, been successful. A few guys I'm excited about, just kind of personal ties, is Connor Sellars and Tony Malcolm. Grew up around, actually lived at Connor's house during my junior lacrosse days, and then grew up around Tony and played with him in Buffalo. So really excited for those guys. And kind of every guy we brought in from that team is a playoff caliber guy on our roster who's going to come in, earn their spot, and do their job for us.
How fun is it, coming in now? It's like you're almost one of the vets on this team in particular, and you've been here for a short time, but it feels like you've been here forever.
Yeah, I think obviously the first year was a bit of a whirlwind. Last year, like you said, we underperformed, but I was able to kind of get my footing and be in Philly the whole year and all that good stuff. And then this year, kind of fresh start with some new faces, with a little bit more loaded roster, and really looking forward to it.
When you guys have the talent that was on the roster last year, and when a season doesn't go your way, but knowing that you add the #1 overall pick, you add 7 guys from a former franchise with that playoff experience, like we mentioned, and just looking at this roster top to bottom, seeing the talent on it, how does it match up with some of the rosters you played on in your career, and just the talent level that's coming in? How excited do you think the fans are going to be to see you guys out on the floor together?
For sure. I think we're excited to see the fans. It's always awesome getting in here. I think one of the things that really hurt us last year, is not being successful at home. So that's going to be a point of emphasis, I'm sure. Just being in this league a long time as well. I watch a lot of video. I look at a lot of stats and different things like that. The margin from being a great team and being a good team and being a below average team is not that far off, right? You look at things like goal differential and power play goals and conversions and all that stuff. We're a little bit off in a few areas, but you kind of shore up some of those areas, and there's no doubt in my mind that we're right there.
You guys have a new anchor in the back, with Nick, and what's the excitement level to have, a new goalie in there? Obviously, Higgy was here for a while and was an anchor for you guys, but a new face back there. What's the excitement level of having a young, rising star goalie back there now?
Yeah, sad to see Higgy go. He was the backbone of our team for years, and I've played summer ball with him, but it's part of the business. Super, super excited to see Nick come in. Been a fan of his since he came in the league as a young goalie, and still a young goalie, but with some success under his belt. Played against him this summer. Got to know him a little bit. He's an awesome character and an awesome guy to have in the locker room. So I think he's going to kind of step right in and be that backbone and help us kind of take the next step.
First year head coach coming in this year too with Ian Rubel. He's obviously been here, but what's the discussions like? Talking with him as he gets set for his first year as the head coach of this team.
Rubes is good. Rubes is, like you said, been around for a long time, not just here, but in the game of lacrosse as a player, as a coach, and everything in between. I'm excited to see kind of how he steps into the head coach role. Obviously, going to be a little different for him, dealing with kind of everything, not just the defense, but everything that the head coach has to deal with. I know we got some fitness testing. I think that's going to be a point of emphasis for him. He's a guy who's still in shape, and I think that's going to be really good for us.
And when you have the 7 guys from PCLC coming in, and then a little bit down the line, TK's coming back. What's the excitement level of having him in the building and knowing what he's capable of coming as a head coach for the past 3 seasons, and he obviously was here previously, so to have him back in the building, what's the excitement level there with what he brings on the offensive side of the ball for you guys, and kind of just figuring out how to move the ball around with the talent on this roster?
Yeah, that's always the key, is using your talent, and so everyone's kind of creating for each other and meshing together. TK, he was an excellent player. He's been an excellent coach in this league. I've had a few good conversations with him. You can tell he really thinks the game and is passionate about it, and I think brings a little fire that maybe we're missing. So I think that'll be good for us to get a kick in the ass sometimes and have a strong leader up there that's going to kind of direct us to everyone together.
I was looking at the schedule too, and last year's schedule, parts of it weren't kind. You had 4-game road trips at points, and I think the longest you guys have this year is 2 games back-to-back on the road, to kind of have an easier schedule in terms of travel and not so much, length away from the Wells Fargo Center, and, being able to be at home a lot more consistently. How nice is that going to be for this season and just the fluidity of the team?
For sure, yeah. We got I've looked at the schedule. We got a couple circled already. The home opener with Vegas coming to town is a huge one for us to get off on the right foot at home. Schedule is a schedule. You're going to run into your ups and downs, and not everything's going to always go your way. But looking at it, it's pretty good for us. We start on the road, get a couple nice road trips and team bonding under our belt, get that one before Christmas, home opener, and then hopefully we can kind of roll from there.
What's the excitement level for you to run back out on that floor again, this season, and hearing those fans going crazy, and just knowing what the expectation is for you guys personally in this locker room, and what the expectation the fans have for you as well, coming off a subpar season like you mentioned, and going into this year with the talent and knowing that the goal is the playoffs. The goal is to go on a run in the playoffs and inevitably be hoisting that trophy at the end of the year.
For sure, yeah. I got updates on the message boards and the Facebook groups and all that from my dad, so I know what the expectations are, and I love it. The more pressure, the better. I think I played a little bit less summer ball across this year. Going back to last year, I kind of came in limping around and had a tough injury at the Man Cup, but this year, feeling fresh, feeling ready to go, having a lot of fun, just training and doing that kind of stuff. I get to hang out with Brennan O'Neill during November, December, kind of get acclimatized to him and see his routines, and I think it's just really exciting going into the season.
What's kind of the excitement and the intrigue around another season of Blaze kind of being the face and the leader of this team, and obviously a captain last year, and kind of being the guy that leads you guys forward?
Yeah, Blazer's a super easy guy, not only to get along with, but to follow and to bounce ideas off of and to work with. Just the kind of guy you want in your locker room. And I think, especially with a lot of new guys coming in, he's going to be a guy that they gravitate to, and that he helps out, and they help him in return. So I think we're in good hands there.
Mitch, we're stoked to have you back in Philly again, and looking forward to another great season, man.
Let's go. Go Wings.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. If you're looking for the right location, think Vineland, New Jersey. Our pro-business approach is supported by financial incentives, workforce development programs, and other resources which can give your business a competitive edge. Whether you're starting a new business or expanding to new markets, our business environment, infrastructure, accessibility, and quality of life make Vineland an ideal location. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
All right, everybody, and we are back here at Philadelphia Wings Team Media Day, and joining us now is new member of the Philadelphia Wings, Connor Sellars. Connor, first of all, welcome to Philadelphia, man. Happy to have you. Good to see you in a Wings jersey for the first time. Talk to me about your excitement level, coming to a new environment, new city, and how much does the nerves kind of get alleviated knowing that 6 of your former teammates with PCLC and TK are also along for this ride with you with a new team?
No, I think it helps a lot. Obviously, familiar played. This is I think about my 8th or 9th year in the league here, so familiar playing in Philadelphia. Fans are great, so it's actually going to be nice to actually play with them on your side for once, and actually enjoy the atmosphere and the crowd on your side. But I think just having the familiarity with a lot of the guys from Panther City and having TK and just knowing a lot of the guys, played lacrosse kind of with Mitch before. I've played with Joe Rezateris as well. I'm familiar with Paul Day, so familiar with a lot of the guys on the team and going from there. So I think coming in, being able to know about half the team, it makes it easier, and it eases the burden of coming into a new team and trying to fit right in where some of the guys already. So it helps ease the nerves and everything like that, and I think it also helps the team get going quicker and easier because you're going to gel in a lot quicker.
I've talked about it on our podcast a ton since the Wings came back in 2018. I said this team needs, an enforcer, big body defenseman right in the middle there to kind of direct traffic and be the guy that puts fear in opponents. And when I saw you were coming to Philadelphia, I was doing backflips in our studio, and I was overwhelmed with excitement that you were coming here. I'm a big fan of your game, and knowing that, this team is going to have you back there, teammate and former Philadelphia Wing, now current Wing, Liam Patton, and then guys like Alex Pace, Ryan Wagner, and just the toughness and the grittiness all in front of Nick Damute, who you've played with for the past couple of years as well. How excited are you to play alongside this defensive unit and in front of Nick again?
I'm excited for it. I think we have a lot of good pieces, familiarity, as you mentioned already. I think we have 4 or 5 Panther City kind of D guys coming in here and helping, and especially playing in front of Nick. Nick, obviously, as a D guy, having a good goalie and everything like that, makes your job a lot easier, right? It kind of helps and hides some of your mistakes. So playing in front of that, it makes it easier. And then I think that's something we're going to pride ourselves on, and just kind of be big, physical, kind of tough to play against, and go from there, and kind of be able to use our defense as our backbone of the team and kind of get energy that way.
When you have a team like this Wings roster, who last year everyone would tell you we underperformed, we didn't meet the standard that we knew we were capable of, and you bring in not only the 7 of you guys from Panther City, but you also bring in the #1 overall pick in Brennan O'Neill. How excited are you to watch his game develop and to have him on your side and being able to watch his game grow? Obviously, he has a ton of field experience, but to see his box game grow and play alongside guys like Blaze Reardon, like Mitch Jones, and kind of learn from them as he goes and be a part of this team and be a huge part of it.
Yeah, I think just having Brennan come in is big for the team. He's a big physical body that's going to help us on offense and go from there. And to be honest, he's as a lefty O guy, he's going to learn from 2 really good players and 2 different styles of players with Blaze and Mitch, right? He's going to learn kind of Mitch controlling the ball and kind of running the offense and kind of demanding the ball, but then also through Blaze, where Blaze is going to help in setting the picks and kind of the bang around the offense and do some of that and kind of get people open and work in the gritty areas. And I think it's going to be a good opportunity for him to learn from both and learn from a lot of that offense. A lot of the offense, there's some veteran guys and also some young guys, so there's going to be guys that he can learn from. And obviously his skill set coming in, watching him play in field lacrosse and watching him play in college and stuff, I think it's a good fit. He's a big body that will help, and I think just the opportunities he's going to have to learn and grow on the offense, especially under TK, myself playing under him, and just the last couple of years, right? I've learned stuff, and I've been in the league for 4 years prior to that, right? So coming in as a rookie, I think it's going to be a good opportunity for him, and it's exciting to see like kind of where his ceiling is, because obviously at this point, as you mentioned, like he hasn't really played box lacrosse, so it's like no one necessarily, everyone knows where the floor is, but no one knows where the ceiling is, right? And being the skill he is, like I think it's something that we could really, that he could, sky's the limit for him, right?
When you come into a new environment like this, and you've played in Philadelphia as an opponent and as a visitor, and what's the excitement level? Like you mentioned, you're excited to play in front of these fans, but kind of just anticipating what it's going to be like that first time you run out on the floor and have the 10,000 plus raucous Philadelphia fans cheering for you this time rather than you being an opponent, and just delivering your style of game and letting them know, hey, this is what the new standard for the Philadelphia Wings is going to be this year and moving forward.
Yeah, obviously I think our standard this year is obviously coming into the season. I think everyone's goal is win championship or bust, right? But there's only one team that can kind of win it at the end. So obviously, as you mentioned, like we're a lot of new guys coming in. So obviously our goal here in training camp coming up is to gel and get on the same page as quick as possible. Obviously 18 games is, some would say it's a long season, but at the same time it's quick and short. So you have to get gelling early. So I think, just say to the fans, like, obviously be patient with us. We're going to get going, and obviously we're going to try to start on time and be the best we can. And obviously we're going to try to exceed expectations and go for a championship here. But I think just from the first game, it's going to be December 14th, right? And in the first home game, it's going to be nice to come in instead of getting booed for that by those 10,000 fans you're mentioning, actually getting a couple cheers and go from there. And obviously, like, playing in the league, this is probably going to be some of the biggest crowds that I'm going to have in my favor, and not just at road games, right? So I think that's going to be exciting. It's going to get the energy going and make it easier to play in some of those smaller environments and crowds. Sometimes it's hard to get your energy going and get going that way. So I think that's going to be something that is going to be something we have no excuse of not having energy and coming out flat. That's something we're gonna have to pride ourselves on and making sure like it's a tough environment to play in.
I was talking to Blaze earlier, and I said, it's rare that as a team of this stature and this littered with talent, you get to bring in 7 guys who have playoff experience the last 2 years, and bringing in veterans of this NLL game. How valuable do you think, you 7 coming in, having that postseason experience the past couple of years, to bring that into this locker room and bring, what it takes to get there and what it takes to win in the playoffs? How valuable is that for you guys to bring that into the guys who, haven't been able to get there yet?
No, I think it's very valuable, right? You kind of know, like, obviously as a rookie with Georgia, I won the championship and I was lucky to do that. And obviously as a rookie, you kind of don't realize how hard it is. And now that I think I'm year 8 now, and haven't really even been back. So it's tough to be there. Been back to the playoffs a few times. So you know how hard it is, and the little things that matter, and the little things that you have to preach. And it's not the little things that happen in playoff game 1, right? They start in game 1 of the regular season, and even in training camp, you got to start building those early and those good habits and keep going from there and just build on it and kind of progress from that.
With so many new guys coming in and introducing yourselves to the fans, who's somebody that you think is kind of going to grab the hearts and the fandom that's coming in with you guys? Obviously, you want to say it's yourself for sure, but with your teammates and you guys kind of getting acclimated to Philly, who do you think's really going to take to this Philly crowd the most?
I think obviously all of us coming in kind of bring our own different skill sets and specialties. Obviously, I think Nick will probably bring, Damoud will probably bring the most. Obviously, that's how a goalie does it, right? Kind of big saves and making stops at the right time and going from there. So I think that's someone like the Philly fans will, I think, appreciate the most and go from there. Obviously, kind of a lot of us are on the back end and kind of banging around, but you have Tony in transition there that could get a lot of opportunities and kind of some transition goals. And then you also have Phil up front, right, and kind of banging around and doing some of that. And getting into some of the hard, tough areas and getting some of those, as we call, garbage goals, right? Picking up those rebounds in front and doing that. And I think that's a big thing, and that will help. But I think to an extent, like, there's going to be things that everyone's happy with for every one of us. Obviously, even Burton, right? He's a veteran guy. He's been around, and he's a guy that will spark the crowd and kind of lay some big hits and throw some body, and is a physical D guy as well. So I think you're going to get that from, like, me, Pat, and Burton. Foley and Melks are a little more like transition kind of finesse, the speed guys, and then you got Phil kind of up there in front, and then you got Nicky kind of holding it back at the goalie side.
When you guys, obviously find out you're coming to Philadelphia, and then, time goes by and you see TK's coming, how excited were you to know that, your head coach the past 3 years coming in now is going to be behind the bench with you in a new environment and coming back to a place he's familiar with as well? How excited were you to see that TK was coming back?
No, I was really excited for TK to come back. Obviously, the last 3 years in Panther City, I loved having him as a coach. He led us really well. I kind of strive to get the best out of all of us, just not even on the floor, right off the floor as well, trying to get us in good habits, make sure we were a family and did all that, and we were a close-knit kind of group over in Panther City. Obviously, it was kind of tough how it folded, but at the end of the outcomes right now, like being in Philly, it's been great for me, a great environment. I think just having him and being able to have that leadership that he brings as well, and the wealth of knowledge that he brings to the game as well, I think will help as well. And it's nice to just have a familiar face that you're used to in the coaching style.
And, when you come into an environment, you've been here as a visitor before, and you kind of know what the Philadelphia fan expectation is for their teams. It's, bring it every day, give us your best. How much do you, feed off of fans when you're out there on the floor and knowing that they have an expectation for you as a player and you have an expectation for yourself to deliver to those fans?
I think with that, like it helps, right? It helps you bring the energy, helps you stay committed in everything else you're doing outside off the floor. Not necessarily, obviously you're going to have to produce and you want to get everything, but it makes you do the little things and makes you want to grow the game and make sure you're committed to everything and you're worried about making sure you're in the best physical shape and make sure you're mentally prepared and physically prepared for the game. But it also gives you that boost of energy, right? When the crowd's roaring and cheering for you guys and you're running out on the tunnel. Like, obviously, as an opposing player, coming to Philly was one of the great I enjoyed it a ton because to an extent, like the energy you get running onto the floor being booed is good energy, and it kind of gets you going in your game. You're like, okay, this is what we're here for, right? So obviously, knowing that and coming into an environment and that now that you're actually going to get cheered on and it's going to be even a louder cheer for you guys is definitely going to help a lot.
Well, Connor, we're stoked to have you in Philly. I'm pumped to have you here. Looking forward to watching you out on the floor and kind of, asserting your dominance for this Philadelphia Wings defense, and looking forward to a great season with you here, man.
No, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the time.
A big thank you to the Philadelphia Wings and Mitch Jones and Connor Sellars for their time at Wings Media Day. Got a message today. This Saturday, I'll be at Wings Open Practice for training camp at their new training facility that they'll be practicing at most of the year. So looking forward to that. If you're going to be there, come say what's up. We're going to be doing more interviews that I'm very much looking forward to, and a whole lot more coming this season with the Philadelphia Wings that you're not going to want to miss. And our interviews brought to you by our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. You want to stand out in the crowd, whether you're going to the Wells Fargo Center to watch the Wings, the Sixers, the Flyers, going to the link to watch the Birds. You want to gear up for the Phils. Spring training will be here before you know it. Or you want to rep Underground Sports Philadelphia. We have our own merch on PHI Apparel Company's website. Stand out in the crowd. Click our link in the description. Fill up your cart with everything you need to get your best fandom on. And when you go to checkout, use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your next merch order. Be like Mitch Jones. He said it in the interview. He packed his OTB hoodie with him. It's going to be with him all season long here in Philadelphia. Need him to wear it at a game so we can get a picture of him in it. Please do it, Mitch. That would be beautiful for the brand. PHIapparel.co or click the link in the description. Use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your next merch order. Moving forward, we might need to gear up on the Kenny's, Harrison. Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. The best beer in the city, hands down. And it is available in Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Maryland, New Jersey, and Delaware. All available now. Use the Kenny Finder to see who's got it on tap in your area. You can also get it at your local liquor store in those markets. It's kenwoodbeer.com. Use the Kenny Finder. Must be 21 or older to do so. And, of course, please drink responsibly. And, Harrison, you probably haven't seen these yet, but they got these beautiful Kenny pint glasses.
Ooh,
pristine.
I'd love to sip on a Kenny out of one of those.
On their website, in their merch section. KenwoodBeer.com. Again, must be 21 or older to do so. And, of course, please drink responsibly. The Sixers might stink, Harrison. They might stink. I'm just kidding. They are still without two of their best players. Yeah. And Rich Hoffman from PHLY said it the best. I want to pull up his tweet so I quote him directly because it is beyond true. With Joel Embiid and Paul George out moving forward, we have to treat the current version of this Sixers team, Maxey and no Embiid / PG, as essentially the worst team in the NBA. To get one out of the 4 games is probably a decent outcome for them. They lose tonight against the Detroit Pistons at the Wells Fargo Center in the Tobias Harris B-Ball Paul welcome home game, 105-95. They're 1-3 on the season. And the Sixers organization has been fined $100,000 for their handling of Joel Embiid's medical situation, which whatever. Tobias Harris has a double-double in this game, 18 points, 14 rebounds. I mean, when you look at it, like Tyrese Maxey led the team in scoring 32 points.
But he's always going to do that. He's a dog.
And after that, it's Kelly Oubre with 13 and 7, followed by Jared McCain, who I love, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. You can't have 22 minutes of Jared McCain being your third leading scorer behind Kelly Oubre, behind Tyrese Maxey. Like, Caleb Martin played 33 minutes tonight and gave you 7, 5, and 1. Good. Andre Drummond gave you 9 points and 11 rebounds. Andre Drummond needs to be rebounding at a far higher clip against the Detroit Pistons than that. Kyle Lowry played 20 minutes and gave you 3 points and 3 rebounds. KJ Martin gave you 22 minutes, 6 points, 2 rebounds. Like I said, Jared McCain, 12 points in 22 minutes. That's a positive, in my opinion, for Jared McCain and just his development. Gershon Yabusele, who I like to call Yabu, who I think is a very fun prospect, gave you 8 points in 19 minutes. That's productive for a guy coming off the bench. Eric Gordon gave you 16 minutes, 3 points, 1 assist. Ricky Council IV gave you 7 minutes off the bench and gave you almost as many points in half the time of Eric Gordon. Yep. And Adam Bona played 3 minutes with no stats. The Sixers were constructed for this roster to complement them at their healthiest. When Embiid and Paul George are on the roster, it helps Caleb Martin be more productive. It helps Kelly Oubre be more productive. And not that Kelly hasn't been productive. He's been one of the helpful spots in this stretch right now. And when you have guards that are in their early 20s or nearing 40 and no in between, it's not ideal.
No. You have guys who are still needing development. And Jared McCain, he's started out the season very well, but he's still just 4 games into his NBA career. We cannot be putting all of our hopes on him yet. So Tyrese Maxey is always going to go out there for you and do the damn thing. But you need to figure it out and just maybe get that disparity between the young guns and the veterans to get a little bit smaller, go out, sign someone new. I honestly thought this was going to be the 1 game out of the 4 game stretch we'd win.
Right.
We should not have beaten the Pacers the way we did. But
it's been gross to start the season, to say the least.
Yeah.
And I genuinely I want to have excitement about this team. How do you feel about the in-season tournament that started with the NBA? I personally am a fan.
I love it. I think that's something new that no other league in America is doing, at least. So
it's very European soccer.
Absolutely. It's FA Cup,
League,
Carabao Cup. It's
type of thing. So I want to get geared up for that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when I'm taking the Sixers season a little bit more seriously, is when the now newly titled Emirates Cup begins, which is November 12th against the Knicks. But in between then, the Sixers still have games starting on Saturday at home against the Grizzlies, and then you go out west for 3 games against the Suns, Clippers, Lakers. Then you come home to play the Hornets before the Emirates Cup starts. How many wins?
I don't think we win any.
Maybe you beat the Hornets because the Hornets are a joke and don't really have anything outside of LaMelo. Like, at least the Pistons, to a degree, like, they're not a great team, but they have pieces and, like, can showcase talent. But I don't know. It's rough going without Embiid and Paul George right now.
It is. It's really just painful to watch. It's the complete inverse of what the Flyers are going through right now.
Yes.
That is a fun and frisky team that we know isn't going to have a great record, but at least it's going to be fun to watch. This is a team we were expecting to have a solid little playoff push, do something
We expected
new.
them to be one of the top teams in the East when they're fully healthy.
Absolutely. And it's just not fun at all to watch. It's painful. It makes me
Yeah.
want to gouge my eyes out with a spoon.
Yeah.
It's
I need a melon baller.
yeah, just whoop. Yeah, that would be way preferable than to
not
watching
fun.
this Sixers team.
It's not fun. Losing to the Pistons is not ideal.
It
And
shouldn't happen. That is grounds to fire everybody.
they just need to get Embiid and Paul George healthy. And it seems like, from the looks of it, Paul George was going through practice and pregame stuff. He seems to be on the mend, and I've kind of been where Paul George is with the knee issue. It's not fun. Everybody at home, it's not fun at all. So hopefully he's back soon. Because genuinely, I think even when Paul George comes back, this team looks different.
Yes, I agree. But until he comes back, get ready to watch hell on a court.
Yes, it's not great, and it's not a great way to bypass what happened last year in the playoffs
Yeah.
to get you excited about a season where you go out and arguably sign the biggest free agent signing in franchise history,
Yeah.
not named Dr. J. And it has been less than ideal, and you have fans pissed off at you to begin with because of the whole stadium thing.
Wait, oh my, I can't get over how boneheaded of a move that is. You already have one of the best basketball indoor sports hockey facilities in the country in the Wells Fargo Center. Electric environment there. Why the hell would you leave? Why?
Especially when you can build the stadium still down in the stadium
Yeah.
district of South Philly, build more population down there, get more,
Exactly.
vibrancy down there in terms of like restaurants and stuff like that, where it's
Center
not
City
just
doesn't need a stadium.
Xfinity Live. And it allows you, like, I'm cool with the Sixers wanting their own stadium. I understand that, because
Yeah.
then that also opens up the avenue for a WNBA team to come to Philly, which I absolutely want and the
Fingers
city
crossed.
absolutely needs.
Fingers crossed.
It just doesn't need to be in Center City. It does not need
No.
to be in Chinatown. It's going to make that area a nightmare. And I have a little bit of breaking news here. The World Series is once again tied 6-6 in the top of the 8th.
Yes, it is. I was wondering how to bring that up because I saw the bases loaded. Little sack fly, get a run in. If the
Runners on the corners with one out.
I need to hear Big Poppy tonight. The Yankees lose.
Well, did you see the new Big Poppy video from the other night when they went up 3-0?
Oh no, I missed that one.
They have Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us playing, and Poppy is just dancing. They not like us. They ain't like us.
Poppy may be my
And he's
favorite
doing that
non-Philly of all
next
time.
to Jeter and A-Rod.
I love him. That man is a national treasure. He is the one Boston athlete that I'm like, yeah, I rock with you.
So good. It's so
he's
good. He's so good on TV.
He is.
You have the bases loaded again as Shohei Ohtani reaches on a catcher interference by Austin Wells.
I think it's over tonight. I think it's over tonight.
Come on, boys.
Fingers crossed.
I
want to laugh at the Yankees.
Yes.
I still haven't forgiven them for 09.
Nope. So, yeah, the Sixers stink. We'll wrap up with some baseball talk and keep up to date with everything going on in the World Series while we're recording.
Perfect little segue.
Juan Soto rumors are a swirling to every big market team in baseball, because that's what Juan Soto is.
He is like Bryce Harper, Manny Machado from years back.
And on steroids at that because of his age. He's 26 years old now, I believe. He just turned 26.
Yeah.
I love bringing he just turned 26 5 days ago.
Oh,
I
wow.
love it. I love this fact about Juan Soto. I've brought this up on the pod before with Pitsy because he had no idea. Did you know Juan Soto is the only player in Major League Baseball history to have his first career home run happen before his first official career at bat?
I did not know that. Wow.
So
How does that work?
So when Juan Soto was called up, the Nationals had a game get delayed by weather that needed to resume because it wasn't a full 5 innings. Player that he was replacing went on the injured list because he got injured in that game. So Juan Soto's on the bench filling in for that player as that game resumes, comes in as a pinch hitter, hits a home run.
Yeah.
The nightcap of said doubleheader is Juan Soto's major league debut.
That's incredible.
It's the coolest baseball stat ever.
That is one out of what, like a million, maybe even a billion kind of statistic right there.
The only player to ever have that happen, where his first career major league home run and hit technically came before his first major league at bat.
We may never see that again.
Debut.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I think the closest thing was what happened this past season when Danny Jensen was playing for the Red Sox and the Blue Jays at the same time. Which that was also unbelievable.
Never gonna happen again.
Dodgers take the lead. It's 7-6, baby.
Yes, sir. Another sack fly.
Mookie Betts.
Mookie getting revenge for yesterday.
Oh,
you see those two fans got banned?
Let's talk about that actually before we get to Soto.
Yeah.
Why in the hell is ESPN? Now I know you're not on Twitter, but I'm sure it's made its way into your peripherals.
Yeah.
We have Jesse Rogers, who does a great job for ESPN. I've had my kerfuffles with him this year, talking about and kind of discounting what Bryce Harper is capable of. Take that, Jesse. Jesse Rogers posted a photo of those two bozos with their 3 friends when they got kicked out of the game, holding beers. And this is the tweet. I am stunned that this tweet is still up to this moment. This is still up because now, Harrison, you study journalism.
Yeah.
I study journalism. A lot of us at this company study journalism.
Yeah. We know how to write a good sentence structure, what should be put out, what shouldn't be put out.
I am also of the like that we don't really need suits and ties journalism anymore. We need more relatable journalism.
Yeah.
This is not true. This is puffing up somebody who, if this happened in regular life, is assault.
Oh, no.
So this is the photo that is tweeted.
Oh, no.
Of these clowns. Now, these clowns have the most paisan Yankees fan name ever. His last name is Capobianco, which is, I'm just fixing my camera here for everybody watching on YouTube. I apologize because I had to get it back in focus. Capobianco, in my brain, if my Italian is ringing correctly, translates to head whites.
Yeah, yeah.
So, of course, they're the head of the whites.
Yeah.
This tweet from Jesse Rogers. Meet Austin Capobianco, who is the bozo in the middle. The fan that interfered with Mookie. I was talking to him at a local bar when a bunch of other fans asked him to take a picture with him and for his autograph. He was a beaut. Story up soon at ESPN. Quote from Mr. Capobianco, the bozo himself. If it's in our area, we're going to D up.
That's not playing defense.
Why do we have an ESPN reporter tweeting that?
You saw 2 fans commit assault on one of the biggest names in Major League Baseball during the World Series. And you're like,
in a live game. Yeah. There's live footage.
Like, I saw that yesterday while I was watching the game, and I was like, oh, someone's going to tweet something supporting these 2 bozos, and they're going to have the absolute wrong take here.
And
that is egregious.
The craziest part, Major League Baseball had to call the Yankees to tell them to ban them from the game tonight. Which tells you the Yankees weren't going to ban these bozos from the game.
That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard.
They think they're these folk heroes that saved the season.
No, they deserve to lose, not just because of that, but mainly because of that. You have 2 fans who go out there and interfere with a game in the worst way I have ever seen it. This is Steve from the Cubs on steroids.
Steve Bartman has not been able to go out in public for over 20 years, and now we're propping these guys up like they're some legends.
Steve Bartman deserves apology after apology
Oh.
after apology. Because at least his wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna grab onto Mookie and
Rip
rip
his
the
glove
ball
off.
out of his glove.
Well, my friend holds his arm down.
Yeah. No,
And then that guy's excuse was Mookie was cursing at us. Grow the fuck up, you fucking loser.
You're from New York, ain't you? Haven't like 10 people yesterday told you the same goddamn thing?
Absolutely insane that we are doing national reporter public puff pieces for these two clowns.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
And the Yankees refunded them for their tickets tonight.
No, to take it away from them and keep them money. At least they gave it to someone who's battling cancer.
If this was a Philadelphia fan, if this was a Dodgers fan, if this was a Cubs fan, I'll even say, if this was a Mets fan, if this was a Braves fan, a Padres fan, they would be getting publicly persecuted on every national news channel during an election cycle. They would cut away from the current election jargon that's being thrown down our throats to publicly stone that fan on national TV.
Especially if it was a Philly fan, they would never let us hear the end of it. Oh, look,
it would have it would have the TV MA thing in the corner permanently. It wouldn't fade out. It would be there permanently.
You'd have to show parental proof that you're allowed to watch a Philadelphia Phillies game in the future, because anybody under the age of 16 ain't allowed to watch this anymore.
I genuinely could not believe that the course of action by the national media was to prop these guys up as some sort of heroes.
Oh,
to
but
the Yankees,
they're America's team. Shut up. Grow up.
Them so much, and I need the Dodgers to win.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. I'm moving the goalposts a little bit with this stat, but it's okay because it still works.
Okay, let's hear
it. I forget who posted it. It might have been Matt Gelb. So the Phillies have lost 4 World Series since the 1980 victory.
Yes.
They lost in 83 to the Orioles, 93 to the Blue Jays, 09 to the Yankees, 22 to the Astros.
Yeah.
Since beating the Phillies in the World Series, up until now, all of those teams had not gotten back to the World Series since beating the Phillies. So I love that optic.
Yeah.
But now, because the Yankees got there, I need it to be since beating the Phillies. No, those teams have not won the World Series since I love the Phillies being the harbingers of doom to a franchise to never win another World Series.
Especially if that franchise is the Yankees, they can afford to never win a World Series ever again. And every single other fan base would be happy about that.
100%. Like, I need the Dodgers to win, and I know everyone likes to clown on the Dodgers too for being this high spending team and they don't win, but they have likable players on their team, and I'd rather root for likable players than a team that has aura like Mookie Betts, like Shohei Ohtani. And I used to hate him, but now that he's not on the Braves anymore, I fucking love Freddie Freeman.
Absolutely.
He's so fun. Teoscar Hernandez is one of my favorite players in baseball.
Yeah.
Like, they have likable guys on their team. They're fun to watch. They play baseball in such a good, calculated way. And outside of Juan Soto, the Yankees have no aura. They are boring. They are plain. They are like the episode of The Fairly Odd Parents when Timmy wishes everyone was the same and they're all great blobs. That's the New York Yankees in 2024. They're the Pixies.
Yes. Like, and you want to know what really killed the aura for Aaron Judge is when he went on that whatever kid show.
On Paw Patrol?
Yeah, the Paw Patrol, whatever it was, and did just some of the worst voice acting I've ever seen in my life.
The only player, and I hate that he went to the Yankees because I really wanted the Phillies to sign him, or trade for him. I hate that Jazz Chisholm's on the Yankees.
Yeah. I hate that Rizzo's on the Yankees too because I love
Yeah.
Anthony Rizzo, but it makes sense. It makes sense.
Jazz Chisholm and Juan Soto are the only guys with aura on that.
Oh yeah, Jazz Chisholm. He's been one of the best players in the league for the last few years too,
fun. And
he's so fun to watch.
He just gets ridiculed because he was on the cover of MLB The Show way
the
too
Marlins.
early.
Yeah. Like if he had been on the Yankees and then been on the cover of the show, that's a different story.
Right.
But you're on the cover on the Marlins, really?
Get him out.
Get him out.
But yeah, I need the Dodgers to win. It would be very fun, and it keeps the aura-less Yankees out of winning another World Series, which is fantastic. But speaking of the Yankees, Juan Soto, rumors are swirling. Bob Nightingale, who take it with a grain of salt. Bob's reports are hit or miss.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes he hits on the early news, and obviously we know our guys and our people to go to when it comes to Phillies insider news on the national level because they have the ins. But Bob Nightingale putting in there that mentioning Scott Boras in your write-up about Juan Soto coming to your team, I think, is important.
Absolutely.
And let's not downplay these things. Juan Soto was teammates with Bryce Harper and Trey Turner.
He was.
He was also teammates with Kyle Schwarber, and Kevin Long was his hitting coach. When Juan Soto was playing, when Trey Turner was playing for the Dodgers, Kevin Long and Juan Soto went to go watch Trey Turner in the playoffs while wearing Trey Turner jerseys.
These are guys who helped Juan Soto really grow up as a player. He was a young kid when he started off in the MLB. These are his mentors, his brother figures, and they're all on the one team with the same agent that he has. It just lines up so well. We were talking before we started recording. I think Soto, should the Phillies sign him, is that missing piece that they needed.
Yeah, and obviously I still think they need some other pieces. Cough, cough, Teoscar Hernandez, please come to the Phillies. But Juan Soto on this team gives this team a new dynamic, a new look in the outfield. You play him in left field. You can play him in center field. I don't care what anyone says. Nick Castellanos is my guy and has played a fantastic right field since he started playing there. You leave him in right field for the duration of his contract, and then you move Juan Soto to right field when Nick moves on or whatever it may be. Juan Soto on this team just adds another dynamic power bat, a young dynamic. Juan Soto is younger than every player that was on the Phillies 25-man roster last year. That was an everyday player. Bryson Stott was the youngest. He just turned 27 during the playoffs.
I love that
Juan Soto just turned 26.
I love that we call it a daycare. That is not a daycare anymore. That is at least kindergarten.
It's preschool.
Yeah.
Juan Soto would be a generational figure here, and it would be absolutely hilarious to do a similar thing where Bryce Harper's here until he's 45 and playing phenomenal baseball, and then he passes the torch to Juan Soto again like he did in DC.
Yeah.
You can't discredit relationships in baseball. They are so massive when guys sign here. You look at the reason Jeff Hoffman is here is because he's friends with Bryce Harper. Yep. You look at why Trey Turner signed here. You look at why Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos signed here. It's all rotating around Bryce Harper. Anybody who has a remote relationship with Bryce Harper is going to consider signing with the Phillies simply because Bryce Harper is one of the best guys to go and play baseball with. He is fun. He's a huge reason why JT Realmuto is here. You look at this Phillies route, Bryson Stott. They grew up together. This team revolves around Bryce Harper in the best way possible, and you can't discredit that. Now, while the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Padres, whoever it may be, have money as well and will be throwing money at Juan Soto, John Middleton has said there's no budget this offseason. It's open season to fix this.
Yep.
I love that approach. John Middleton is one of us. He is a fan through and through, but he's also an owner. And that is the best part about a baseball team where there is no salary cap. When you have an owner that's willing to spend, he's going to do it the right way.
He's like
unless Juan Soto says, hey, the Yankees are going to offer me something that I can't refuse, or the Dodgers are going to offer me something I can't refuse, or whatever it may be. You have to know the Phillies are going to be in the mix. I don't want to hear,
Absolutely.
the Phillies might make an offer, but they're not going to be in the mix. They're going to be in the mix until the very end. Look at Bryce Harper. Look at Trey Turner. Look at, the Kyle Schwarbers, the Nick Cassidy. Look at Zach Wheeler. Look at Aaron Nola coming back here. Look at any player that has signed here. The Phillies have been in the mix until the very end, and 90% of the time, they're in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think it's only been like Machado who wound up not signing with us,
which we were fine with because it was Harper all along.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to think of, there might have been a pitcher.
Weren't we going after like Garrett Cole or something? No, not Garrett Cole.
Yeah, it was Garrett. We were in the Garrett,
Cole,
but then we ended up with Zach Wheeler.
And that's enough. I would honestly much rather have Zach Wheeler.
Zach Wheeler is one of the best free agent signings in Philadelphia sports history.
And on the free too.
Yes. And I mean, you look at just the way that the Phillies, and like even last season, the Phillies offered Yoshinobu Yamamoto the most money.
Yeah.
He just chose to sign with the Dodgers because he is best friends with Shohei Ohtani. Again, relationships.
Yes.
They matter.
That's someone who can help bring you into the American style of play, who you know very well, and you don't need a translator to speak with him.
The Phillies were apparently in on Teoscar Hernandez last season until he decided to go back to the Dodgers.
Yeah. And this is a team that's going to be competitive in the playoffs for years to come. Players are going to want to come play for us. And that cannot be overstated how important that is. And, you go out and you play a round of golf with Bryce Harper. Next thing you know, John Middleton's going to be on the line like, hey, you want to come play baseball with him?
The Phillies, outside of the Dodgers and the Yankees, because of what the Yankees, but even to a lesser degree, the Phillies are a destination team in baseball again. And it has been that way since Bryce Harper got here. Players want to come and play here because they know there is a high possibility of getting to the playoffs, of getting to the World Series, and inevitably being part of the team that eventually hoists that trophy up again for John Middleton.
Absolutely.
You look at the camaraderie of this team, and I know everyone was down on the whole, vibes matter thing in the locker room this year. Relationships matter, and when this team is going good, they're going good. Now, is there things that need to be fixed up on this team? Absolutely. You need to get more starting pitching ready to rock and roll for this team. You need an outfield adjustment. I think you need to go and get a Teoscar Hernandez and Juan Soto, and that way you can play Marsh in a platoon left field, center field role, and then you can let Johan Rojas just develop at the minor league level and learn how to hit.
He needs to learn how to hit. He's got the defense on point. Just please keep him in the minors until he's batting 250.
Yeah. You need to let him learn how to hit. Like, he's still very young, so I'm fine with that. And then Marsh gets put in a better situation of being a fourth outfielder / left field platoon with a Teoscar in center field with Juan Soto, and Juan Soto's playing left field that day. Like, that's a much better outfield situation. There's a lot less pressure on Marsh to be a guy that hits home runs. He doesn't need to be that guy. No. Brandon Marsh needs to be a guy who's slapping the ball all around the outfield and hitting like 275, 280. And if the home runs come, great, but they don't have to be your end-all, be-all. And his plate approach needs to be fixed the most, I think, this offseason, to just be like, you need to be a contact hitter. And if the home runs happen to come and you get your pitch, turn on it. Other than that, slap the ball around, get on base because you can steal bases. You're at your best when you're on the base paths too. That's what the Phillies need to fix.
He lets that hair fly when he's running, and it's just majestic as hell to watch because he's so fast. He knows how to get down in the dirt. And we already have our power hitters. We have our Schwarber. We have Harper. They're hitting for the fences. Turner can always smoke a long ball.
Yes.
We don't need Marsh to hit the home runs. We need him to be
Castellanos will rope home runs left and right.
Yeah. Let him just be that consistent, that Chase Utley type hitter who short swing, get it down, run.
If you have Schwarber, say Juan Soto, Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, and
Trey Turner,
along with Alec Boehm to a degree, as power/contact hitters, and then pure contact hitters. And if the home runs come, great, in Marsh, Stott, Teoscar Hernandez, JT, whoever you get as that other outfielder.
Perfect
team's
lineup.
looking a lot more balanced.
Yes.
And then also on top of that, they need to build out a bench. I've said this on multiple episodes. Edmundo Sosa, stay. Whoever your backup catcher ends up being, cool. You
Stubbsy
need
was
to build
fine.
out a bench.
I am very happy with Stubbsy. I think he's a good locker room guy. He does the job when he's needed, and he's just better than most backups in the MLB, in my opinion.
You need to build out a bench that has diversity. I like Cody Krementz. I like Weston Wilson. I like, the Cal Stevenson. If you're going to win a World Series, you need a Matt Stairs type. You need a contact hitter type off the bench.
You need someone who's going to hit that clutch home run.
Yes. You need somebody who's going to get on base. You need somebody who can say, hey, we have Schwarber on the base paths late in the game. We can win the game. Let's get a speedster on first base, second base, and win the game.
Speaking of Teoscar, he just hit a single in the top of the ninth to start off this inning.
Let's go, boys. Let's go, boys.
3 outs away from the Yankees being done and this baseball season.
We love a gentleman's
nice little bow wrapped on it.
I need Yankees fans leaving Yankee Stadium with fucking New York playing.
Yeah. The
Yankees lose.
Bye.
Oh, I need it. Also, the Phillies today signed somebody that I kind of know, and I'm very excited about this. You don't build your bullpen depth unless you take chances on guys. Mm-hmm. And the Phillies have signed Summers Point, New Jersey native and Oakcrest High School graduate Cody Stashak to a minor league deal with an invite to spring training. He's 30 years old. He's around my age. I went to college with his wife, and he's a very serviceable bullpen pitcher. He spent the last 2 years in the minor leagues with the San Francisco Giants. He's pitched in the major leagues with the Minnesota Twins. He has close to a 30% strikeout rate and a 4.5% walk rate over, his career. Those are the type of guys I want you to take a flyer on. That's how you find your Jeff Hoffmans. That's how you find your Jose Ruizes. That's how you find these guys that build out your bullpen. Cody's a hometown guy. We saw what Buddy Kennedy did this year. My guy, shout out to him, Millville native, on this team and getting a chance and giving local guys a chance to put a Phillies uniform on, I think is something that we don't get to see all too much. And when we do, it's a really cool moment when you have an entire 45,000 plus in the middle of July chanting Buddy, Buddy, Buddy. And you have South Jersey guys on this team and Philly guys on this team. It goes along. I mean, look at Tyler Phillips this year. He pitched a complete game shutout this year against the Guardians.
That was one of the most electric debuts I've seen in the MLB in a long time.
It can't be understated enough. Taking flyers on local products too, and how valuable that is, not only for the team, but the community aspect of a Major League Baseball team. I'm super excited for Cody. I'm super excited for his wife, Taylor. They're amazing people. He's coming home. He put that on his Instagram today, a picture of him, just pitching. You slide over and it's him and Taylor when they were in high school in their Phillies gear at Citizens Bank Park, a picture of him as a young kid with a Phillies hat on. Those are the cool moments. You see that in sports, and it makes your fan base want that guy to succeed with your organization that much more. Oh, I think you muted.
Yeah, no.
There you go.
There we go. It's such a community building moment, and we need more of that in our local sports. Is it great when we go out there and we sign the biggest free agent of all time? Yes. But then look at teams in England for soccer. They signed that local kid who's been coming up through the system and played in their academy and grew up with that team. You look at the Philadelphia Union signing our local homegrown players. It means that much more to them.
Look at Corey Clement.
Yeah. Yeah. He went out there and he won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. That's a beautiful moment right there. It should have happened with Johnny Gaudreau. May he rest in peace. But he should have been a Flyer. I will never, ever forgive Chuck Taylor for letting that not happen, or
Yeah,
whatever his name was.
exactly. Chuck Fletcher's bum ass.
Fletcher. Yeah, that jackass.
What a loser. But yeah, I'm super excited for Cody. I got to reach out to his wife and see if we can get Cody on the pod because
Oh, yeah.
super excited for him, and to have somebody like him, Buddy Kennedy in the system, Tyler Phillips, like it just builds that good camaraderie with the fans and everything. And I think Cody's got a chance to really shine in spring training and make a name for himself. And who knows, maybe he's in the bullpen to start the season, which would be really cool for him. And I know it'd be an awesome full circle moment for him and Taylor.
Yep. Men on first and second for the Dodgers. Kike Hernandez just walked.
Kike! Let's
One
go.
out.
Let's go.
Chance to pile on to the Yankees' misery.
Just pour it on. Pour it on.
Foot on throat.
I wonder if I can go on. So no free ads, but I won. So they're doing a promo on DraftKings, and it's the King of the Court for the NBA being back, and I won an $85 free bet.
Ooh, hell yeah!
For winning that night's King of the Court. I wonder if I can bet on baseball right now.
Little sneaky live bet.
I'm so tempted to. It's so tough.
Yeah,
because it's like, do they hold do they go up by 2 runs here?
Yeah.
Or do they go over?
I don't know.
Or under 13.5? Oh, that's so tough.
I'd live bet the spread plus 1.5 right now. I might.
Dodgers minus 1.5 at plus 140.
Yeah.
I might just do a normal bet on that and feel good about myself for getting in on the action there. Hopefully it holds and I don't jinx them there. Also, I would love Tommy Edman on the Phillies. The Phillies need to find their Tommy Edman.
Absolutely.
Like that's the type of player I need on this bench. Is a Tommy Edman type. He's the type of slap hitter who can hit for power if needed. But that's the type of guy I need on this bench. Phillies need to find their Tommy Edman. Also, I cannot believe Mark Leiter Jr. is pitching in the World Series.
That's insane to me too.
He was part of the dark days of Phillies baseball. The sickos
the sicko era. God, I'm so happy we are past that. That I still remember as being the darkest days of any of my fan life as a fan.
Let's see. I think 20.
It was worse than the process. I can't even lie.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
The process Sixers fans don't know how bad.
Yeah.
The 2012 to 2018 Phillies were.
Don't get us wrong. The process era Sixers, that was bad. But
oh yeah.
Double the length of that season and have somehow less wins. And there you go. That's the sicko era Phillies right there.
Was this the worst year? Was this the... Yeah. So the 63 and 99 Phillies in 2015. Ooh. Let's see how many guys you remember on this team to wrap up
we had
show.
Ben Revere.
Ben Revere was on the team. I loved Ben Revere.
Ben Revere was kind of goated. I do miss him.
I love that he still comes around and is like in the like press, like not press, but like the VIP areas for games and stuff.
He's a beloved member of the Phillies community because he was the one guy who gave a damn during that era.
Yeah. Our starting 8, because that was before the DH was implemented.
Yeah.
Our starting 8 was wild. So we had 36-year-old Carlos Ruiz, 35-year-old Ryan Howard.
Chooch is a Philly legend, and
100%.
But that's at the tail end of their career.
We had the prime years of Cesar Hernandez and Freddie Galvis as your second base shortstop tandem.
Ooh.
I'll always love those two. It was it was like they actually produced a little bit while they were here. Then my GOAT, Maikel Franco at third base.
Maikel.
Cody Ashe was our left fielder.
Oh my! I completely forgot about him.
That was the one year that I I hate that he turned out to be a scumbag, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna like this guy. He's
Yeah.
fun. He's frisky. Odubel Herrera.
Yeah, and then he turned out to be a total waste of a human being.
And then our right fielder.
Oh,
Your
no.
was Jeff Francoeur.
Philadelphia Phillies legend Jeff Francoeur.
Yes. So when you're doing your immaculate grids, everyone, remember Jeff Francoeur played for the Phillies for a year.
Yeah.
And then our bench was Ben Revere,
Shout
Cameron
out.
Rupp,
Oh my God, Cam Rupp. Yeah.
Darren Ruff, 36-year-old Chase Utley,
Yep.
Andres Blanco,
God, that's a name.
Dominic Brown,
Dominic Brown.
Aaron Altair,
Oh my God.
Grady Sizemore, who was the White Sox interim
Yes.
manager this year.
Yes.
Darnell Sweeney, who we ended up getting in the Jimmy Rollins trade along
Yeah.
with Zach Eflin.
Yeah. Oh my God, Zach Eflin.
Brian Bogasevich, Eric Kratz, Chase Darno, the brother of Travis Darno, who was also a Phillies prospect back in the day. And if you don't remember, Travis Darno was traded to the Toronto Blue Jays from the Phillies in order to get Roy Halladay. And then Jordan Danks.
What a name.
But here's where it gets fun. Harrison.
Bullpen?
The pitching. We had 37-year-old Aaron Harang. Cole Hamels, that was his final year with the team.
Shout out Cole.
33-year-old Jerome Williams.
Oh, all right.
Adam Morgan.
Okay.
The rookie season of Aaron Nola.
The one shining bright spot out of all of that.
Sean O'Sullivan.
That is the most Philadelphia name I've ever heard in my life. I can't.
A player who returned this year and is in the organization, David Buchanan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jared Eichhoff.
Yeah.
Chad Billingsley.
Yes. Oh my God.
Severino Gonzalez. Kevin Correa. Alec Asher. Dustin McGowan. Justin DeFreitas. Philadelphia Phillies closing legend Jenmar Gomez.
Oh my God, yes.
Elvis Araujo. My guy through and through. I don't care what anyone says. Hector Neris.
Shout out Neris. He will always.
Felipe Almont, one of the biggest busts of a trade prospect ever. Cesar Jimenez. Kenny Roberts. Ken Giles.
Was Papelbon on this team?
He was.
Yes. Jonathan, I think everything that was wrong with the Phillies in that era can be summed up by Jonathan Papelbon.
I think this was the year Jonathan Papelbon moved into being the leader in all-time saves in Philadelphia Phillies history.
Yes. Yeah. Because he was somehow pitching pretty well. But just the optics of him
was so bad.
So bad.
Dyer Hinojosa. Luis Garcia, Nefi Ogando, Colton Murray, Seth Rosen, and my guy, I hate that he pitched for the Mets this year, Jake Diekman.
Oh, yeah. You didn't bet minus 1.5, did you? Because the inning's over.
Yeah, I did. I only bet $10. Though.
Okay. $10, we take that.
That team was gross.
And not gross and, oh, that guy's nasty. He goes out there and he throws the most disgusting slurve I've ever seen in my life. No, that team was puke in the bottom of the barrel. Ugh, disgusting.
Now, here's how much of a sicko I was in 2016. That Phillies roster. Yeah. I was believing in some of these guys being a piece for the future. The 71 and 91 Philadelphia Phillies.
If you had belief in that Nola, that's absolutely understandable. But some of those other names,
I was ecstatic when we traded for Peter Borges. I thought he was a piece. I was like, oh, he's frisky. He's a fast outfielder. He's going to be fun. Now, I was also a pure putrid sicko, thinking that Rule 5 draft pick Tyler Goodell was going to be a future piece for this team.
We were grasping at straws back then. Don't even worry about it.
I was at opening day for this team. This was one of my first opening days.
Uh-oh.
I deserve the Phillies' successes because I sat through opening day with Emmanuel Burris playing shortstop and Cedric Hunter playing left field for this team.
That was our opening day lineup?
We had the grossest opening day. Let me see if I can find the actual opening day lineup.
It's got to be somewhere like archived online, somewhere in the depths of hell that is the internet.
Opening day starters for the Philadelphia Phillies in 2016.
Oh my God.
How can I? Okay, let's scroll back. 2016. So our starting lineup
Yes.
in 2016, where we lost that game to Cincinnati 6-2, Monday, April 4th.
Okay.
It was Carlos Ruiz, Ryan Howard,
Okay.
Cesar Hernandez, Maikel Franco, Freddie Galvis, Cedric Hunter, Odubel Herrera, Peter Borges, and Jeremy Hellickson as our
That's
starting.
disgusting. And it'd be one thing if this was prime Chooch, prime Ryan Howard, but that is post what, Achilles Ryan Howard?
Yep, that was Ryan Howard's last season with us.
2 outs away.
Come on, boys.
2 outs away.
Yeah, that lineup was disgusting.
Yeah.
And I sat through that and I believed in Michael Stutz.
Ugh.
I thought he was going to be a guy.
This ain't no I believe in Joe Hendry situation. There ain't no benefits coming from this.
No. I was a sicko.
Yeah.
What people were with the process Sixers, I was with the rebuild Phillies. I was paying attention to prospects and pieces that they could trade for to be building blocks for this team like no other.
That was me the last 4 years with the Purgatory Flyers.
The first year of us doing this podcast, I remember being in our old studio room, banging hand over fist on the table in there, saying this team needs to sign Jake Arrieta. He's going to be a franchise-altering free agent signing. He's going to bring people into this team. And then they signed him, and then he fucking stunk.
He went from World Series champion Jake Arrieta, one of the biggest pieces of that Cubs
Cy
team,
Young legend,
to the worst pitcher you've ever seen in your life.
And then we signed Bryce Harper, and all was fixed.
And then we got another part of the key members of that 2016 Cubs team, but he's actually doing bits for us. Thank you, Kyle Schwarber. IU Hoosier, legend. Out in Bloomington this weekend, absolutely looking like a tank.
Isn't it crazy that Kyle Schwarber's, if he finds his way into the Hall of Fame, which I don't know if he will be, I think right now he's in the Hall of like very, very good. It's crazy that Kyle Schwarber could go in as a Philly more than a Cub.
Oh, absolutely. And when Bryce Harper enters the Hall of Fame, he's wearing a big
He's a Philly.
His cap.
He's a Philly, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Like, sure, did he have some good years in Washington? Yeah. But he's had the prime of his life.
Zach Wheeler's going to go in as a Philly, which is amazing.
Philly. We get a ring. Trey Turner might go in as a Philly.
Yeah. Castellanos, if he were to ever get in, he would be a Philly.
That's another fringe guy right there, though. So, I mean,
Nola's,
obviously. I mean, but he's been here his whole career. That's a no doubter.
Real Muto,
Philly, because he was great with the Miami Marlins, but
it's insane that team never won anything.
Yeah, the Marlins go to the playoffs once every 10 years.
That team was JT, Christian Yelich, Giancarlo Stanton, Marcelo Zuna, D. Gordon, and obviously rest in peace Jose Fernandez. But that team had units.
They really did.
They
were disgusting. disgusting in a good way, not disgusting like the disgusting we've been talking about for the last
Crazy.
But yeah,
And
they
for everyone
should've
still
done
listening at this point,
something.
thank you. We're stalling so we can laugh at the Yankees' demise.
Yes, just
One away.
one more strike. Just get it done. Put
Come
it
on.
down. Put them out of their misery, please, and let us laugh at the Yankees. There's been
Who's
some
gonna
this has
be?
been some damn good the stalling in the meantime, though.
Oh yeah. Who is
It's
gonna be?
over. Yankees
Yankees
lose.
lose. Let's go. Ba
Yes.
ba ba da ba ba
Da,
ba
ba,
ba da
ba, da,
ba
ba.
ba ba ba
Bye-bye.
da ba. Start spreading the news.
It was beautiful. You
They
came
are
on out.
losing today. I'm so happy we're a part of it. The Yankees lose.
Da, 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 da. Woo! Suck
Let's
it, New
go.
York.
Oh, I
It's
love
been
it.
nice. It's been nice. It's been a good season. Thank God we didn't get a Subway Series World Series, but the Yankees lose.
It was so fitting that Alex Verdugo was the last out.
Yes. And hey, now Shohei Ohtani is World Series champion.
And in the time that you were gone last year, Pitsy and I went through a hardcore card opening phase.
Ooh.
Sitting up here on the shelf right now, right
Yeah.
there, everyone's seeing it. That card right next to that is an on-card auto, 1/1 insert, Shohei Ohtani card.
Ooh. God damn.
Yeah.
God
That
damn.
that thing just went up in value. Infinite.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dude,
Oh, I
if
love
it didn't work so well for the set, you're making some bank off of that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. The Yankees lose. No team that has beaten the Phillies in the World Series over the last 40 some odd years has won the World Series since. Rest in piss to Mr. Capo Bianco. Rest in piss to the
Yes.
auraless New York Yankees. They're done.
See
It's
ya, bozos.
over. You lose. Good day, sir.
You get nothing as you
Yes.
deserve.
And the funniest part, and I love him because he is the best new age broadcaster. So Joe Davis is calling the World Series. He's also the Dodgers regular season TV play. He took over for Vin Scully. Joe Davis now gets a ring.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so awesome. He deserves.
And you know what the funniest part about all of this is? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, because the Los Angeles Dodgers have won the World Series, former Philadelphia Philly Connor Brogdon is now a World Series champion.
No fucking way. Connor Brogdon. What a name. What a player. What a man.
Who
I am
was
so
released.
happy for
He
him.
was DFA'd by the Phillies this season after
Yes.
having a not great start to the year. The Dodgers signed him, and he's now a World Series champion.
Shout out Connor Brogdon. Hell yeah, brother.
That's unreal.
That's
Unreal.
awesome. That's awesome.
Oh,
Good for him.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Shout out to the Dodgers for ruining every fraudulent loser Yankees fan's life.
Yes.
Oh,
The worst fan base in sports. And I stand
Yes.
by it. You may be historic, you may be all that. Doesn't mean you're not a bunch of bums.
I hope this makes Juan Soto leave now.
Yes.
Even more.
Yes. Get him out to Philadelphia.
Oh,
Just drive him down the turnpike. Come to a stadium where fans will cheer your name and genuinely love you.
I need it. I need it. I need it. Let's go. Shout out to the Dodgers. Shout out to
Yes.
Shohei. Shout out to Mookie. Shout out to Freddie Freeman. Shout out to Teoscar Hernandez, future Philadelphia Philly. And shout out to Connor Brogdon,
That
World
is
Series
not
champion.
and nobody can call that a Mickey Mouse ring. So
Nope.
congratulations.
I gotta tweet that Connor Brogdon is the
Yes.
World Series champion.
Knock that out. Knock that out.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. Thank you to Mitch Jones and Connor Sellars for hopping on at Media Day, and definitely get ready for a wing season that's going to be absolutely incredible. Let's have a great Eagles Sunday. Make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, the whole 9 yards. Subscribe to the podcast feed on Apple, Spotify. Leave a 5-star rating and review. It goes a long way for helping the show continue to grow, helps more people find Underground Sports Philadelphia, and allows us to do more dope stuff with and for you guys. And of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week. It'll be Wednesdays with Harry the K, and a whole lot of fun coming your way on Wednesday episodes. But youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section. Leave a like if you're happy that the Yankees just lost the World Series. Leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. And of course, guys, this show is presented by the city of Vineland. And whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process. And their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100, Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 686, a return to the underground for Harry the K of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm your boy KB. We'll catch you guys on Sunday after the Eagles game. Leave your voicemails during the game, after, before the game, all that good stuff. Want to hear from you. They'll be played on Monday's show. And until then, have a happy and safe Halloween. The Yankees lose. And we're getting that cup out of here. We're signing off. Peace.